Just need to turn that down. Alright, so you just need to make sure your audio is included now, Matty.
Yeah, all ticked. Should be ready to go.
Alright. So no one moved then?
No, not by the looks of it.
Alright, because we're so professional, we've started yakking and now we'll do the introductions. G'day everybody, welcome to the ANZCRL 2.4 hours of Spa. I'm Night Pegasus, and with me in the commentary box and doing the directing is Matty Seeking. Welcome, Matty.
Thank you. Well, welcome everyone.
Well, I've been out of the loop for a while. I've been getting on with life and racing iRacing, so it's been a while since I broadcasted. But you've been following, so who's the people to look out for today?
Definitely Colonel Lloyd. He's probably set the pace the most. Him and Dredd are probably the top two guys at the moment. So they seem definitely be the quickest. I was so slow that the 9 dentists that were running my team have been called away for a root canal, so I am now without a car.
And now without a car. Yes, Colonel Lloyd. Well, as I know, Colonel Lloyd, he's a bit of a dark horse. He brings the special sauce with him, no matter what car he's in.
There we go. Straight to the 216s.
Straight to the 216. I think it's the Paul Newman's special sauce. That's why he goes so well. And I'm a bit distracted. I'm just looking up the track map here to try and remember some of the corners that I don't remember. So that makes sense. But yeah, and the only one in the McLaren. And other than the McLaren, it looks like World War II, doesn't it? It's the British versus... Oh no, it's the British versus the Tri-Axis. So we've got a Ferrari and a couple of Mercedes. A Lamborghini, so the Italians and the Germans bolting up on the English McLaren and one Bentley.
Look, that Mercedes looks kind of out of whack when it gets a nice little dint in the front though too. It's already got a long bonnet,
yes.
So it's not designed to lose a couple of metres.
No, I think they do that so it helps them with the cornering speed more than anything. A bit more downforce. And just a tip. I was watching something the other day for those, and we were talking about this in a practice about how there's limited front downforce on these cars. I was watching Niels Huiskenveld, one of his amazing boring spreadsheet segments on YouTube. If you want more downforce on the front, you lift the rear ride height. So there's a tip there. Which I didn't know about. So raise the rear ride height and just improve the front a bit, which will come in handy when we get to iRacing, because no one knows how to tune a car in iRacing.
I can
we're watching
give it the full Larco tech talk here, but I haven't got my whiteboard, so I've spent most of my life doing aero stuff and then decided to get out of it because it's scary.
It's scary.
It is.
There you go. Well, thank God you don't have a whiteboard. Here we are. So this is Dark Racing 40 and 55 Kaspersky antivirus. And you'll probably need that in the Ferrari. I know they've got a few glitches, so hopefully he's running that software. Might help out his car a bit. But on the downside, I reckon he'll be slow because Kaspersky's known as a resource hog. So that's probably why he's not up near the top. Maybe he should have picked a better partner. Unusual to see a white Ferrari. Generally they're all red or black.
Most of the red cars here are Mercedes.
There you go, and there goes a blue one. And look at that. Now that's something you can't do in the real world. Drive through someone. Well, you can, but generally the stewards don't like it.
Casper was his best friend there.
There we go. So this is 194. Who we got in the 194? Got Gecko.
Colonel
Gecko,
Lloyd's
what's he in?
down to
A&M
the
Racing.
215s. 215-1.
215s. That's crazy, isn't it? And Dread's nowhere near him.
That
Dread's
should...
running the Lamborghini.
Also in pit lane.
So in pit lane. Saving tyres. I don't know. He's going out. Here he is. He's going out. Going for another crack. 63. Pertamina. Is that what he... Where is he? Just trying to find... No, it's called the Gracia Racing Lamborghini. So I don't know. Is his livery not matching his sponsor? Maybe there's a bit of a deal there going on that we don't know about. Oh, here's a few more ghosting cars.
More Caspers.
Oh, look at this. They're both running pretty close. So who we got? 124. This is I think
Sato.
So this is Sato. And
Sato and Dado.
Sato and Dado and Sato. There we go. So Dado's got the run on Sato through Poulon.
Sato runs it a little bit wide compared to Dado, but Dado has the braking over Sato.
Yep.
Turned into a very big
run out of the corner.
Very big
a bit sideways
twister.
Yes. It'll make you maddo if you talk about Dado and Sato. It's rather rado.
Runs a bit wide there too though. You be careful with those slowdowns, especially through this back section because it does strip 2 lap times.
Yes. And of course Sato's already got a bit maddo and ran off the rado.
Oh, there
he goes again.
There's 2 lap times.
Just gone there through Blanchimont. Okay, as they come down into the bus stop. Tricky corner this one. You can see it if you run wide through Blanchimont, you get a good run out and Dado's into the pits. What we've got 4.5 minutes to go.
Jumped into 3rd there, Sato, with that lap time.
Jumped into 3rd, but really, so that counted even though he ran wide. Interesting. So he must be quick, considering he's got a nose like Buster Keating. His car. Here we go. I love the sound of these Mercs. They sound great, don't they?
Definitely. So we got Aussie not happy with his Carters. By looks of the car, he's
weird too.
Definitely not happy with it.
Yes, that's it. But look at the nose on that. What's going on there?
Little punch into the nose of it. He's jumped to 5th with that lap time as well, under the 220s.
Oh, thought he's going to get it sideways there in the wall of death. But looking at how weird that nose looks, just reminded me it's time to grab a drink. Just grab a drink. Aussie Carters. Here we are. So what do we got? So at the moment, Colonel Lloyd in 1st on pole position, Dredd in 2nd. Sato in 3rd, got Gecko in 4th. And there's only, there's 0.3 of a second between those 3. Aussie Carter's in 4th, who's not happy that he isn't quick this week. And I'm trying to twist the top off a stubby that's not a twist top. I'm just so excited about this race. Weary Night, Dado Racer, Dark Racing. Well, Dark Racing or Dark Lord, I'm not sure. Then Woody, and then Dark Racing or Dark Lord
of Sauron,
and then Jetto. Dark Lord. Yeah. Unusual for Dark Racing not to pick a competitive car. But anyway.
Could be the software.
Maybe.
As you said, that is.
Well, that's it. The bloatware. Slowing the car down. Here we are. We're on board with him now. Yeah, look, it even says he's in neutral, so we know that that's definitely not working. Because obviously he has got in gear. Very quiet, the Ferrari. A bit disappointing in recent years that they're not loud. Don't know why that is. Anyway, I don't want to make a fuss. Comes across the line. Does he improve? 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, up to 8th.
Yep. Up to 8th with a 220. So he's only 5 seconds off the pace. He's put it in the garage.
Interesting to see where Dredd goes in this lap.
Light fuel load.
Looks like he's slowed up for it.
Yeah, he's slowed up. Oh, is he doing the Michael Schumacher?
Oh,
He's doing
parks
the
it on that
Michael
racing
Schumacher.
line.
Yeah, that's it. So I said, no, you're not getting in front of me. I'm happy with second.
It's really going to get one more burst at
lap
it.
here. Yeah, interesting to see how they go. Out of the source. Up through the gears now. What are they going to pull through Eau Rouge and Radillon?
Go on board.
Interesting to see the line taken here. We go 240 entering. 234. Oh, runs wide. Oh, almost takes out the pit exit. The 24-hour races. But would have cost himself a lot of speed. There's a chance for Aussie Carters to actually make up some time here in the draft, but no, can't get him under brakes. He's going to have to follow him through this tricky section, through Lacombe, down through this corner that I can't quite call him. There's all Lacombe there. Then the Bruxelles, he pulls out of the way. Second gear corner this.
So I think he might have called it there.
He's called it there, yep, pulling off to the side. That corner is such a tough corner down the hill.
Yeah.
Second gear, all you want to do is get on the power, and you can't. It's like, I want to put my foot down, I can't. There's the Bentley there, sort of like trying to split in two because it's so big. Doesn't that sound like a beast?
Does.
He's Weary Knight driving this, the number 85.
Oh!
Double J, oh, puts it in the dirt. That'll be the end of his session. Okay, there's the time. Qualifying's over. Who's this? This is the other McLaren driver.
Jetto.
I keep forgetting that the names are up on the screen.
Too excited.
Too excited, mate. It's good to be back in the broadcasting. I haven't done it for quite a few weeks. Comes across the line. What's the time he's going to lay down? Does he improve? And where's the finish line? Don't know. No, maybe he didn't improve.
No, not by the looks of it. Geez, the AI was a bit wobbly there.
Still was. And the McLaren's a tough car to drive. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 out there. This got Gecko. Can he beat Sato? He's only got 0.2 of a second to make up on him. Here we can't see the relatives. Through, is this Eau Rouge? Is this across the line now?
Dark Lord.
Did he improve? No, I don't think he
He's up to 7th.
He did improve. Today's improved too. Woody Lizard.
It's 10th.
Big O. Got Gecko. Gecko, what's he going to do? Crosses the line and goes straight to the garage. Here we are. So, after qualifying,
Second. Wow, he's got front
Gecko.
row.
He got second on the grid with that lap. Dredd down to third, Sato in fourth, Aussie Carters in fifth, Weary Knight in sixth, Dark Lord 78 in seventh, Dado Racer, and then Dark Racing in a Ferrari, Woody Lizard in another Mercedes, and Jetto bring up the tail of the field. So we've the McLaren's are bookending the field, and the Bentley is smack bang in the middle.
Be a wide target to get past. Might be the easiest.
Target,
2:15, 3 seconds quicker. That's a
so
brilliant
we're running
lap.
a certain amount of laps. Are we running a certain amount of laps tonight, or are we running a timed event?
It's a timed event of 2 hours and 25 minutes.
So we're running it all tonight.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. All
That's
one
how out of
hit.
touch I am, viewers.
Everyone's back
splitting
shall
us
be
up.
aching after.
Oh, I should have run this because I'm pretty used to sitting in my rig for hours on end. In the last fortnight, I've done a 4-hour race, a 6-hour race, followed by a 4-hour race. Yeah, I've got the old Homer seat going on here. It's just molded to my backside.
Oh.
But yeah, it's going to be a test of endurance. We'll hear some aches and pains coming into that second hour. Is where it's going to find people out. Who's got the stamina? And I like this type of racing. Bugger these little short sprints. You know, they're for kids. We want the long endurance races. So interesting to see how we go tonight.
Sort out the boys from the men.
Sort out the boys from the men, exactly. And that's why we're commentating and they're racing.
I've lost my drive. That shows you how boy I am.
So they'll be just working out. Now they've done qualifying. Will they swap lobbies here? Is this where they're going to swap lobbies, or it was based purely on practice, wasn't it?
I thought it was based on practice, so I think this lobby should stay similar. Or should stay the same.
Yep. Okay. So they're just sorting all that sort of stuff out now. Hopefully they all get their fuel in the car. Be interesting to see what they do in this race. How many tanks do you think it's going to take to get to the end?
I think
3?
It's very dependent on car, to be honest, because I was running the Honda, or the Acura, and that Acura could get through this race with just one full fill up.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So
So
that's
that-
going to be curious then.
Where the Beamer had to do 2. So the
Had to do a
M6,
second stop.
the M6 I know can do one stop as well, to be honest. But I think it's very, very tyre dependent. Do you want to be running the hards at night?
Yep. Yes. So that's it. As always, tyres are going to come into it.
So I don't expect a lot of people to start on a full tank. I do expect to see mid to lower fuel loads to start off with. They'll probably fill them up during night and then run it to the end. So probably be one large fuel stop.
Alright. I'm just trying to find this on Facebook, and thank you Facebook, you've updated your app somehow, so it's made it harder to find the groups. Here we go. Nope, still can't find it. Frustrating. I was just wanting to find some information on this spa event. It's not allowing me to just bring it up easy. Here we go.
And mine is also updated as well.
Yes, so the 2.0 of Spa. What are we running this over? So they're going to do the full 24 hours over 2 hours and 25 minutes of racing in one session. And we've got 2 lobbies, so this is the top lobby, and we're running the GT3s, or basically this is the Mercedes procession, this lobby. Interesting to see how people go. So the race, we've got 3, so apparently we've got heavy cloud, so track will be quite grippy to start with, and interesting to see how the tyres go at night. When they cool down, are they going to be able to maintain the temperature in them? Everyone will be running softs, of course, because that's the only way to go.
I think a lot of people may be running hards.
Oh, really? Well, there you go.
The hards
That's how out of the
seem to
loop I've been.
The hards seem to be the better tyre during all the practice sessions I've done until night, where the soft was what you wanted to be on. People have managed to actually get the hards running at night as well. So it'd be very interesting to see what people go, but I'm looking at the fuel loads. Everyone seems to be going with a full tank.
Yep.
Excluding Woody Lizard.
Okay. Maybe
He's
just
running
needs to
80
set up his
litres.
pit strategy. Yep. Interesting. So McLaren takes 130 litres, hey, and the Mercedes are 120.
Yep. Bentley's 130 as well.
And we've got a rolling start. So here we are on the formation lap.
That's just fuel loads. I think most guys will probably start on a full tank. So I don't know if the Lambo seems to be heavier on fuel because that's already down to about 117. But yeah, Woody's definitely running 80 litres there.
Oh, has he messed up? Only time will tell. Was he gone for the reverse? Reverse pitch strategy.
My strategy I had set up is, I know I'm not quick races wise, which is why I put a lot of time into the strategies. I would have started the race on about 60 litres.
Yep.
In the Honda, so.
Yep.
2 stopper, 60 litres, topper up, and then a little fill dash. So we may now need a quick splash and dash at the end, but a lot of these guys will probably try and see if they can do the 1 stop.
Yes, and an interesting strategy. So maybe Woody's gone for the softer tyre with a lighter fuel to try and stretch it to the first pit stop. And then he's got an option, hasn't he, to like split the second run and just run 3 sets of soft tyres. Of course, if you're going full fuel, you'd probably go with the hard tyre first and run it as far as you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting to see some different strategies. That's what I like about endurance races. It just adds this little tweak to it. And of course, what's going to happen in turn 1 now? We talk about it at the start of every race. You can't win it in the first corner, but I don't know what it is. As soon as the lights go out, people seem to, I don't know, stick their brain in the glove box. And they all try to do it.
Track position seems to be key, and to be technically the first lap is where you can gain quickly in 1 hit. So a lot of people do bonsai into the first corner.
It's absolute madness.
Yeah, I don't expect to see the full Roman Grosjean, but I do expect to see the spin.
Yes, it's going to be interesting to see. I did on the weekend. I did the iRacing Le Mans Endurance Series of the 1 hour round the Nordschleife. I deliberately started in the pit lane. I was in 35th spot, and by the time I got off the GP circuit, I'd already made up 10 spots. And by the end of the first lap, I think I was in about 20th position. Because people just, I don't know, just no patience. And that's what this long distance racing is about. It's about patience. You got to be fast, but you got to be patient.
I could easily make a top 10 video of the worst first corners in any racetrack, and La Source will probably be in my top 3 of just carnage.
It is. So where would you prefer to be starting? Like, did you obviously pole, but then are you going to get rear-ended? Do you want to be on the outside, honestly, or the inside?
I think I'd prefer to be inside if I was mid-pack. Inside mid-pack.
Oh, what's happened to Lloyd? He started from a long way back here, Colonel Lloyd.
He has, but he's got
and now he's got the jump. Maybe he's trying to fox
with 3 wide in the background there.
3 wide, yeah, the camera's closing right in. They all seem to be through relatively. Oh, someone's wiggling there. Not quite sure who that was. I think that was. But yep, safely through turn 1. Oh my god.
Oh,
stop
he's
the
had
press.
to pull out there.
Oh, runs wide. Oh, the Bentley. Who's that? Sato all over the back of Weary Night.
Sato's had a massive moment through
and around the outside comes Dark Racing. He's managed to pick up a couple of spots there. 3 or 4 actually. It's a good start. He's pulled out wide to get out of the draft as they come into Lacombe. Next tricky part of the racetrack. Get through here. It's a video cameraman zooms in there. We don't see a bit more of a wider shot. Everybody seems to be through pretty good. Dark Racing looking racy as they come down into Brazils, but yeah, already pulling out almost a second is Colonel Lloyd in this McLaren. Now, I'm going to talk about him early on. I'm going to talk about Lloyd early on. He's fast, but he makes mistakes. So can he hold it together for the next 2 hours and 23 minutes? That's going to be the thing for him. Yep, so got Gecko holding his position now over the bright green Kermit the Frog Lamborghini of Dreadnought. And it'll be interesting to see how it goes in these longer races. He's got good racecraft. He'll have a good strategy going, and you'll know that
he's a very patient racer as well. He'll bide his time. I do want to give a quick shout out to Sato though, because that was a huge moment through Radion, and he's managed to save that.
He has. Oh, and he's going somewhere going. I think there's Weary Night Challenge and Dark Racing in the background. This is going to be interesting going through Blanchimont. He's trying. Nah, it's not the spot to do it there. Not the spot to do it there. Just got to sit back and get the run on into the bus stop would be the spot to do it. Oh, Dark Racing runs wide.
He may have
runs wide in the background.
Slowdown because of that.
Yep. I think he can get away with. Oh, a bit of a tap. Oh, we'll just call that net code. We call that net code. Sato's giving a bit of a tap there.
Oh,
and he's got one to go on with it. It's like, get out of the way, Bentley. Yeah, bit of argy-bargy, and then who we got? We got Dado following them, Woody and Jetto, and looks like we've lost Dark Lord somewhere around the track. Yeah, he's got a bit of a crumpled bonnet.
Does.
Yeah. Yep. So he's had a bit of a happening somewhere. So he's going to be slow, but early on, he's just got to make it to the first pit stop now. That'll buff out, I'm pretty sure. As they come up through over the top of Radion again, Sato in the draft on Weary Night.
This is tasty. That Mercedes is quick.
Yes, and Sato's been racing this for a number of years, so he knows this car pretty good. Not quite got it there. Pulls out, early days. Don't want to be like risking anything. Dado all over the back of Sato. That could make him Maddo. And
they've already dropped it 2 seconds to Dark Racing here, just fighting.
Just fighting, this is it. This is where the patience comes in. Sometimes if you're slower, you're better off to let that car go and concentrate on your own race rather than battle. But then if you're slow like me, sometimes you just want to race while you can, because in 5 laps time you'll be all on your lonesome. Hold it together. Alright, we've got to see Lloyd's pulled out a 2-second lead, and then another 2 seconds to Dread. Looks like Dread and Aussie are having a bit of a battle. Who else? And then Dark Racing somewhere in between.
Dark Racing's been the big winner from that start. Darky's gained a ton of spots.
Yes. He's a cluey man. He knows how to get around here. I'm surprised he's not racing the Audi. Generally he loves his Audis, but obviously he's not under contract to Audi. And he's moved to Ferrari. I'm sure if there was an Audi in IndyCars, he would run that one as well. But
the last thing we want is Darky with the Tifosi behind him. It's a
pull it up into the bus stop. There's a
very close shot there.
Bentley.
Oh,
he's giving another tap. He's like, so the Bentley's a bit slow into the bus stop now. Yep. I think the first one was S, and then that one was O, and the other one. Slides it in under brakes, trying hard to get around him. Runs wide. He's at a slowdown. I don't know. They're pretty strict around Spa. In all forms of all over the back of him here. Oh, this could end in tears. Taps him in the rear. I recall doing something like that and watching a car go flying over my roof.
Force Indians did that, and it didn't work well for them when they did it there.
Doesn't work, does it? 2 into 1 doesn't go.
This is just catching Dado, and Woody's coming in here as well too.
Yep. Hard on the brakes goes Weary Night into Lacombe. Someone in the wall there. I was quite sure.
That's Got Gecko.
Got Gecko.
That corner, the entry to Lacombe's there, has just been awkward for all the Mercs, to be honest, because just the camber of the corner, the rears do lock, and the car does want to spin.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That right-hander is off camber, and if you grab too much curb, as we know, project cars curbs are deadly, and it'll spin you around if you're not ready. And also the left-hander, if you take too much curb on the left hand on the way out, same thing. Anyway, we've got ourselves a race. Jetto's picked up another spot.
A lot of cars
what's
have
Jedi gonna
struggled
do?
with that.
Got Gecko all over the back of him. Is he going to let him go? Yeah, lets him go.
Yeah.
Understands
That's
he's
not
quite quick.
not a bad decision there from Jedi. He can play himself nicely and just keep out of trouble.
That's it. Still a long way to go. 2 hours and 18 minutes to be exact.
So that
Okay,
leads
we've
now
got
out to
Aussie
8.5 seconds.
Yes. And as I've mentioned, let's can Lloyd maintain his focus? That's his biggest issue. Maybe he's been away and practiced that. That's why we haven't seen him for so long. He's come back with a new focus. Alright. Well, I think it's starting to settle down. We've still got Sato chasing Weary Knight. That's going to be the one to watch into this corner. Is he going to give him a tap this time? No, he's learning. Maybe he's got a bit of aero damage there. I'm not quite sure what the settings are, but you can't keep running in the back of cars and expect to have no damage. But yes, Bentley doing the job at the moment, and he's withstand the pressure. Sato all over him again. He'd almost be better off just backing off a bit here, making sure he gets a nice clean run through Eau Rouge and over Radion, so he gets the draft down the straight. Line him up for the braking point.
This is the apex there to Bentley.
Yep. This is better for Sato. He's close. It's about a car length and a half. Can he get the run on? Look at him closing in. Just doesn't quite have
Bentley
that last
just
bit.
has that top speed. Oh,
Oh,
in fact,
and
Dano's
Dano
jumped
comes
down
through.
the inside.
Oh, he downbraked himself. Oh, and it's all over.
Good.
Oh,
He
Sato's
does
around.
that.
Bentley's around. Dano's around. Is anyone else around? And Jetto just goes, what the hell's going on, boys?
Dano's managed to get away with that.
He has. He's picked up a spot. Picked up a spot there. Gecko got Gecko and Woody. They're the biggest winners there. We didn't quite see them go through, but Woody up to 5th now. Got Gecko's back up into 6th.
Dano's
who got
got away
damage
with
out of
that.
I'm not sure. Sato flashing his lights. He's not happy. I don't know why, because Dano went through. Looked all pretty good to me. I think
fairly clean, to be
Weary
honest.
Knight, I reckon now breaks
camber.
himself. Yep, spun around. Dado trying to avoid Weary Knight, and Sato trying to avoid Dado.
The car the size
Well, there
of
we
the
go.
Bentley, horizontal across the track. Not many cars are going to get past it.
And maybe that's what he was using to his advantage. And I can't slow it down. I'll get it sideways, and the aero wash will pull me up pretty quick.
We go to cockpit cam. We should see if he's got a bit of toe. By the looks of it, the car's still pretty straight. So the Mave just had a little bit of. Oh, someone's in the wall in front though. That's Dano.
Dado! Oh, he's just clipped the curb there somewhere. It's dangerous there through Eau Rouge.
Oh, that should
Car
be.
looks relatively good.
Wow, most of the damage from the Mercs.
Straight to the pits. Straight to the pits. Yeah, he's lucky he did that in the right spot. Go in, take your medicine now, but that would have been a big hit. It's about 250k through there. Now the Bentley all over Jetto. Jetto won't be liking this.
Jetto's run a bit wide, so the Bentley's creamed down the inside there. That's a good move from Weary.
Yes.
Side by
Not
side,
done
though.
yet.
Someone's going to have to.
Oh, they're rubbing.
They're rubbing again.
They're rubbing. Who's got the biggest kahunas? Oh, Jetto leaves plenty of room.
Jetto.
Weary Knight's pulled out. Yeah. Might be a bit of damage on that car too. Here's Woody Knight. We've got Gecko all over the back of him. Just taking his time now. Taking his time. Come through this corner. Oh, got Gecko's got a better run there, but we got Dark Racing has passed Aussie Carters.
So
he's
Aussie looks
obviously
like he's
pressured
made a
him out of
mistake because he's dropped about 5 seconds on Dread there.
Yeah, and he hates this car apparently. I think this is the car he hated the least out of all the cars he hated, so that's the reason he's driving the Mercedes. Yeah, he's got a bit of a run on there, but I think that's going to be more. People are going to be making mistakes than actual passing per se. And there you go, Aussie back through. Dark Racing biding his time. But Colonel Lloyd, he's just cleared out. 11 seconds now, we won't see him again.
So Gecko's got
Pit
past
stops.
Woody as well. The brothers do it in the same spot.
It's their favourite corner there. Sato chasing him down.
Yeah, he's got himself a second penalty there though. Got Gecko as well.
Okay, so a bit of a slow down somewhere.
Oh,
dark racing in the fence.
Oh,
and he can't get out of it. It's got the magnet on. The concrete magnet. Oh, he's tired. Doesn't look too good on the front. No, doesn't look good at all. He's turned that car into a crab. So, just as we pull away, seems like you've got the Night Pegasus Director's Curse. Pull away and miss the action. But here we go, these Mercs all close right up now.
Two teammates.
Loves that corner there.
Premier Motorsport together.
Well, this is right. The Premier Motorsport's running different liveries. 123 and a 124 car. Of course, forgot that. Not the cash show. It's the Premier Motorsports. So will there be some team orders here? Dark Racing into the pits. So we got. So Dado got in and out relatively quickly by the looks of things. So mightn't have had too much damage.
Oh.
And
Tough start for
Dark
Dark
Lord. Yep. And he'd be better off coming into pits, and he
has. Oh.
And just to make sure the mechanics had something to do, he just tapped the inside wall there. Gotta be careful because you hit the car in the right spot.
Team orders have happened as well. So Sato's now in front of Woody.
Sato's in front of Woody.
So Woody has.
Woody's got a clean car.
He has taken less fuel as well, Woody. So he'll be running his own race.
Yep. That's it. Running to a number. Taking it easy.
Looks like Weary's made another mistake. He's dropped about 10 seconds onto that Jetto there as well.
Yeah, well, we're not quite sure how much damage he's got. I'm not sure if someone T-boned him or not. But yeah.
I would say steering damage.
See.
Let's have a look at the car, how it's driving. Just have a little bit of right hand down.
He's running a right-hand drive car, whereas I think everyone else is running a left-hand drive car. So.
The way we actually drive in Australia.
Yeah. If I got in that car now, it would freak me out. So used to driving on the wrong side of the car. Here we are back with Woody. 1, 2, 3. That's not the positions we're looking at, that's his number. The black and white. I don't know if he's a Collingwood supporter, Penrith supporter, but I don't even know if Penrith are black and white, but I'll just go with that.
Collingwood.
Collingwood. No wonder he's doing badly then. Through the bus stop. Right, left. Trying to maintain the speed out of that slowest. Well, is that the slowest corner in Lascaux? I think that exit of the bus stop is the slowest corner. Jetto in the background. Made up to 7th place just from plodding along, keeping his nose out of trouble. Nagainsko 99. Looks like a Ferrari, but it's a McLaren. McLaren. Just buttering along.
Doing well there.
We go through Eau Rouge. There's an interesting line through there. I've noticed a lot of cars run extra wide at the entry of Eau Rouge and the left-hander, and then pull it back hard for the right. He's just chosen to cut the curbs. Running along nicely. Like I said, it's 7th spot. Started in 11th. Made up 5 spots. Through Lacombe, here we are. Sato coming down into Bruxelles. Here's this patient corner, patient second gear corner. Get a good run out of that through No Name, which I think has been renamed. I love that corner. If you get that right, it's so much fun.
Pain that corner. It's so hard. It's so easy to get wrong. It's so easy to get wrong. It doesn't look complicated, but it's very complicated.
Yeah, and if you nail it though, it feels so good. Through Pouon, we are down into, I can't remember the name of this place. We'll just call it the S's for the moment while I find out the name. And is this Stansevort? I think it's Stansevort. Yeah, generally coming through there in about 3rd, up to 4th through this right-hander. And and then run it a bit wide like that. Try not to take too much of the curb on the outside, and then just flat out up the 6. And then if your car's set up right, you don't lift through Blanchimont. If not, you just got to give it a little lift just to settle it. And then plant the foot again. As you fly up here into bus stop. Now, I find this one of the hardest corners to brake into. I never know where my braking marker is. Generally, I see the white line across the road and I count. And depending on how excited I am, I either brake early or I brake late.
There actually is no braking marker there. I struggled during my practice to break that, and I'd either be, oh! Here we got on the wall there, Got Gecko again! Oh!
Got Gecko again. Yeah, I bet he's starting to hate that car too.
A bit heavy on the loud pedal coming out of the source there. It's very easy to do.
Very easy, and he's very lucky that he didn't hit the wall of death and kill his car, because there's a point there on the wall. You hit it with your car in the right spot and it blows the motor, it's game over. So very lucky to keep going. Here we go, we've got 2 hours 7 minutes to go. So we're only 18 minutes into this race. Already we've seen carnage. We've seen a couple of vehicles in the pits for repairs. We've got the 2 darkies in 10th and 11th. And Dado, they've all had pretty bad damage. Weary Knight, assume he's got damage. Jetto hasn't got Gecko. He's got damage there. Doesn't look like that car's still right to me. Not quite sure what was wrong with it.
From the lap times, looks like he's done another 2:23. So
2:23
looks very unhappy under braking. Weary Knight's done a 2:22, so that damage must be minimal.
Yep.
Because that Bentley's still going on a solid race. He's slowly catching Jetto.
Now it's built like a tank, isn't it? I reckon he can like plough into one of these walls and you know, and still have no problems. And look at Lloyd. Lloyd's just run a 2:19, say 2:19. There we go. He does a 2:18 and a half. Just cruising away, and then the next closest in lap times is Dread. You've got Gecko doing 2:20s. Everyone else is in the 2:22s. So I wonder if the track is starting to cool down and tyres are starting to become a factor now, because got it on the 10 times speed. So obviously it can't be too much longer till it starts to get dark. And they're trying to keep the grip up in these cars. So obviously the faster you go, the more you're braking, the more you can get heat into the tyres. But if you start to like drop off your lap times, I think it just gets worse and worse for you. Interesting line through there.
Trail braking all through there as well.
Yeah, no one's taking out those bollards there. Generally it's one of the first things we want to do is who's going to nail the bollards, but I think these do aero damage, so you've got to stay away from them. It's this corner here. It's good when those bollards are gone, because you can cut that corner there pretty good. Flying down the hill, where's he going to hit the brakes? 100? No, goes in deep.
Pretty much onto the corner.
To the corner. He's got this car set up well. Runs wide, under the bridge. Yep, just taps the brakes down the 3rd. Hold it in there. Is he going to come down another gear? No. 28 litres of fuel left.
Yeah, looking like a one-stop for McLaren. He runs a bit wide there though.
Runs wide.
Took a bit too much curve. See him jump on the 2 wheels.
He takes second through that corner, so obviously using the gears to help him rotate. Is he going to lift through Blanchimont? No, no lifting. 250. There's that line. Down to first. Wait for it, wait for it. It's on the power. What's that saying? His best lap's at 216. Wow. Does a 219. So yeah, I think the track's just starting to change a bit here.
Jump to Jetto. He's caught up to Got Gecko.
I think Got Gecko's just got past him again, has he? Or maybe no, maybe he's caught him. You're right, I think he had
Looks
his
like
spin,
there's a
got
bit
out
of
back
damage
out
on the
front.
front there. The front end of the Mercs.
Oh, yeah.
A bit wayward.
He's done a 2:31 for his last lap. So, Ghetto run a bit wide, so got Gecko trying to make it to the first pit stop. Ghetto runs a bit deep.
Looks like a lot of these guys may be running a one stop, especially if you can save fuel, to be honest, because a lot of guys have it's dependent on how you drive the car, because you can be really quick around Spa and use a lot of fuel.
Yes. And Gecko streaks away from Jetto. Yeah, it's tricky, but so that's the thing, is having that strategy. If you run the two-stop strategy and you have damage early on, you know you can come in and get your damage fixed.
Yeah.
It could be worth a bit in the end. But if Gecko's going to run a one-stopper, he's going to drop a lot of time. Already 42 seconds behind the leader. This is the closest battle on the track at the moment. Although
it is.
I'm guessing that's Dark Racing's catching up to Dado, so 3 seconds between them. Sato slowly closing in on Aussie Carters. Woody not far behind. The rest of the field pretty much panned out. And as you can see, it's getting dark here. Jetto's had to put the lights on. Come down the hill into Pont. Pardon my French. There we go. Woody Lizard here. Premier Motorsports 123, his teammate in front of him in the 124. Everyone's just holding station. Now we're just at this point in the race, as we seem to be most weeks, where we're waiting for something to happen. Really can't trust the timing there, because it says Gecko's 44 seconds behind and Jetto is 43 seconds behind, but Jetto is behind Gecko, so I think Einstein would have a bit of trouble working out the space-time continuum there. I don't know. Still not right. He's still far. He's still closer to the leader, but further behind. Go work that one out. And looks like Dark Racing is probably catching up to Dado. Maybe that's something we. Oh, Jetto runs it deep. Said, "Oh, I know how to fix this timing glitch. I'll just go slower." And there we are, everything's back. So Dark Racing all over the back of Dado by the looks of things, if we can get on to them.
Still about a couple seconds.
Yeah, I've got my timing menu in the left here and it's lying to me. I should have known. But Ferrari running the yellow
right on
headlights.
Top of each other. They should be
well, it says here is like... There's 0.3 of a second between them, but an official timing it's 2.5 seconds.
That did a 2:21 there, so looking good. Looks like Aussie's dropped a spot. He has. He's spun.
Oh, who's that?
Aussie Carters. Aussie, I'm not happy. Oh, he's the same.
He's just popped right out in front of him. This is where you got to run your relatives. I hear this every week. Look at your relatives when you pull out. But then, if his timing's looking like mine, he probably thought he had 10 seconds and he didn't. So, there we go, the teammates.
Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. If you're not in control, you are not in control. I think the brothers have got that Mercedes set.
Oh, and he's in. I think he's been in the fence up the back again. So I reckon we might see Gecko pit this lap. His car's looking rather second-hand there. Yep.
Looks like we do have a bit of issues, to be honest. Looks very twitchy at the moment.
It does, doesn't it? A lot of problems with the left-hand side.
I think both the brothers haven't been happy with the Merc, to be honest. Oh, he's off again.
Oh, jeez. Weary. Nowhere to go. So he's definitely going to be in.
They both are there.
I thought Gecko was going to just spin his nose out of the way just in time for Weary to go past, but no, not to be. Anyway, great camera work. But he got in the dirt, kept his foot into it. Weary probably should have braked a bit harder and just watched that play out, but as all bad race drivers do, you just keep going flat out. And then blame the other person at the end of it.
He's probably expecting the car to come back onto the track, but it seems he's gone into pit lane there. Yeah, both of them are.
Both in the pits. Jetto up to 6th, keeping his nose clean.
It's like Darky's dropped back a little bit as well, so Dado's picked up the pace in the Merc.
Yep, starting to get dark now.
These two
It might be a good time for those guys who've crashed to come in and actually put softs on. Get a bit of grip and see what that does. How long we'll be in here.
The pit crew's working fast that you can't hardly see it.
We've just still got 2 hours to go.
It's like
2 hours to go.
Dark Lord looks like he's been overlapped here as well.
Yep. He's down a lap.
So
he's still
Woody,
racing.
Woody Lizard's caught up to Sano here. Team orders may come back into play. You haven't caught Dread.
Is this the
it's
strategy?
my turn.
Strategy of the tyres? Is Woody on the softer compounds and they're starting to come into their own now? It's cooled off. That's the interesting question. Of course, we don't know. Probably never will. Jetto is plodding along as well. Keeping out of trouble.
Just coming out of pit lane here. He's actually been killed in that small accident there.
Yeah. It all started with his own mistake.
In fact, Dread's cutting there past.
Spin it in the lagoon, yeah, Dread. So Veery's already down a lap. Colonel Lloyd's already gone past. 21 seconds up with 2 hours to go. I'm pretty sure he'll be calling in for pizza somewhere.
God Gecko's been lapped as well.
I'm sure when he pits, he'll go and have a cigarette and a scotch. Just to keep things interesting.
God Gecko's been lapped as well.
God Gecko's lapped as well, yep. And could you just pull up the map for us? That'll give us an idea of who's lapped and who's not, because I think Dado and Dark Racing must be pretty close. No, we've still only got 1, 2, 3, 4 cars lapped. So 5. Yeah, so I think everybody's lapped up to Dado. So Jetto is the last car on the lead lap. So that tells us who's on the same lap.
I think Dado is not lapped just yet. He's coming into the final chicane. Colonel Lloyd is coming to it very quickly.
Okay. But he did. I think he is lapped, because didn't Dado come in for repairs?
Yes, but he's only about a minute and a half behind. So.
Yeah, my maths has gone out the window. It's a 2-minute 20 lap, and he's at 46.
I'd want to make a move on though, because he's coming fast.
He's coming fast. How much fuel have we got on site on the McLaren here? Just let me see how long till we get a pit stop.
82. So probably looking like
quite halfway.
Yeah.
Quite halfway through his fuel, because already had a 130, so about 75 litres will be half his fuel.
The Lamborghini does seem to use more as well though. So it's down to 71.
Yeah. Yep. So
we think of
more.
When we think of MPGs, we definitely think of Lamborghinis.
That's what makes them so lovable. That's how much fuel you're going to put in. Woody closing right in now on Sato.
He's also got 30 litres, Woody.
Yeah, so he's Not quite sure how many laps. What have we done? 14 laps. He started with 80. So what's that roughly? About 7 litres a lap. So he's probably got about 4 more laps and he'll be in the pits. So Sato's not to know this though. But if he did, he'd probably just let Woody go because he knows he's not actually racing him at the moment. Because Woody's going to come into the pits. And there's nothing worse than like having a car follow you forever and ever.
Yeah.
Nothing more distracting.
The pressure's always there.
Yeah, just hoping they don't run into the back of you. Nice and tight through here. Yeah,
Remember
nice line by Woody.
Practice race we had here during one of the unofficial practices, and I think about 4 cars spun out in that corner there. Looks like we've got a car that was stopped on the map. It's like someone's had a spin. Wasn't sure who. Everyone's up and going again, but there was a dot that was very peculiarly not moving.
Well, this is Project Cars, so who knows what was going on with that.
Well, you won't see this track in Project Cars 3. They have not got the licensing for Spa.
They haven't?
No, they haven't.
We wouldn't see the damage. We wouldn't see the damage that we've seen either, and we wouldn't see the pit stops. And all I can say is how boring.
You would have seen a massive Roman Grosjean at the front as well, because there's no penalties.
There's no penalties, hey? So it just becomes dodgem cars. Yeah. A lot of people disappointed in that Project Cars 3, but I guess from what I've read and what I've seen is that they're trying to appeal to the new gamer, the new person that wants to get into racing, and apparently it's a lot easier to drive with a controller than it is with a wheel. So
I got no problems on this game. As a seasoned controller racer.
So that's the path they've chosen to take. It's just a shame we can't mod Project Cars too. So we've got Gecko in the pits once more. Maybe that's the person we saw spin. Come around through the bus stop. Jetto hanging in there in 6th place. Woody in 3rd place now.
Yeah, it's got
and
past
we've had
there.
a disconnect. Gecko has dropped out. Unfortunately, not sure what's happened. Obviously he hated that car so much, he got out of it. That's probably the car you saw stuck on the circuit somewhere,
Yeah.
so that gives...
Dread's got past Weary, so...
Yep, so...
Huge league of their own here. Colonel Lloyd's gone... He's in Mars, 24 seconds in front of Dread. Just probably at the moon, and then the rest of the pack's still back on Earth. That just shows you the gaps between everyone. So.
Yes. So we didn't see it, but Sato, maybe he let Woody through. Woody's got past him anyway, and we're expecting Woody to come in the next 3 or 4 laps. Aussie Carter's still not happy, running 23s. Lloyd's still running 218s. Which is amazing.
That car's set up
Jetto
so well.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. He gave me a setup for the Aston Martin once, and we did a 24. Well, we did a race around Spa, and it was spot on. So he knows what he's doing. And I'm wondering if he got a bit of help from Shads. Although I think Shads ran the Nissan Kira last year. So yeah, so everything's settled out now. So the only people we haven't seen actually tap anything is Colonel Lloyd, Dreadnought, Woody Lizard, and Jetto. Everybody else has had damage to their car, and in these races,
hit a wall, but he's hit the back of Weary a couple times.
He's hit the back of Weary a couple of times. He's hit the left-hand rear. He's hit the right-hand rear. He's I think he hit the left-hand rear, and then he said, "Oh, I've got to hit the right-hand rear just to balance the car back up." But yeah, but it's in endurance races. It's like the car with the least damage generally wins, and I'm not quite sure if your performance drops off. I think think if you go in and repair everything fully in project cars, you get a whole new car. In iRacing, that doesn't happen for those people that are interested in iRacing. Every time you have a crash, they come in, they fix it, but you drop speed. So every time you have a crash, you lose speed. So you don't want to crash. Project cars let you get away with that. And project cars free will, you don't even have to come in and repair. So
No, you can just
even better.
park sideways on the track and roll everyone onto their roof and continue on to take the win. In fact, you don't even have to do Spa. The game's suited to me.
You can do it. Oh, look out! Aussie Carter's got it a bit sideways there. As we talked about Lacombe, it can be deadly. Just that off camber corner, and
It's lucky he hasn't lost his headlights.
he is. He'd be driving blind. Although the way he's been driving, I think he is blind. It's Project Cars doesn't allow you to catch the slides that easy. It's always a snap oversteer, unfortunately. And here's someone we haven't seen for a while, Dark Racing. Finally, it was my prediction. He was closing in on Dado. I predicted that about 4.5 hours ago, but yeah, he's actually doing it now. And as we can see on the timing on the left-hand side, he's actually in front of Dado. Maybe it's just lag. I don't know. Anyway, get through there safely. Start to see a few marbles on the track here as well.
He's definitely using easily the flu network from Harry Potter here to be in front of Dado.
Now this is where you should start flashing the lights and annoy the hell out of someone. At least start flashing them at least 5 laps before you caught up to them. And there's Colonel Lloyd in the background coming up to lap these two. Start flashing them now for the next 7 laps. They absolutely get annoyed, and then as you get to overtake, generally they turn in and take you out. Give us something to talk about.
Has that happened to you from experience? Or?
Yes, and also I've paid out on people like that too. On this track, I had a guy flash me for a whole lap who I was racing, same lap, racing for position, flashed me for the whole lap, and then going into Eau Rouge, I was keeping him tight, and then he didn't want to lift. He got on the grass and flew across the top of my car in the air, and then proceeded to call me all sorts of things. I'm just like, dude, you can always lift. He only had to wait another 200 metres in to pass me on the straight, but yeah, nothing worse than being flashed, as we all know.
So we're going to have a special guest very soon.
Oh yes, we got Gecko. As you join the party, just make sure you select include audio in the broadcast, so that the whole world can hear how you're not happy with your car.
Yeah. I don't know words. That's about it.
So what happened in the end? Why not continue? Did you blow the engine or?
No, it was alright. I probably could have kept going, but I lost my rear wing, so I was in the pit lane for a little while, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. This is the third crash I had in the last 2 laps. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that for 2 hours.
You might have learned something by the end of it, though.
The seat's so uncomfortable, my back's killing me, so I'm like, no, that's it.
There you go. So you're one of
an hour through.
I know.
That's right. We're not even an hour in. And there we go. We talked about the men and the boys. So he's one of the boys with us now, ladies and gentlemen.
The little boy. His name's got Gecko as a little boy.
couldn't hack the pain.
No, I could have kept going, but the car was a piece of shit, so I'm like, no, if the car's going to be that bad, I'm not even going to bother.
Fair enough.
I mean, we only
whose choice was it to go? Whose choice was it to go with the Mercedes?
Me.
Oh!
It was a weapon. It was a weapon all yesterday, day before, and practice from earlier. Getting the race, and it's like, he is a heap of shit.
Okay,
I've got,
so
I got 3 words. That's bold strategy, cotton.
Yeah, that one.
Ooh, Dark.
Oh, you see Dark Racing
There's
run wide,
Colonel Lloyd
just in
behind
front
him
of the
too,
leader.
though.
Maybe he's trying to put the leader off by taking alternate lines. Hoping he's following, but look at this all over the back of him now. This McLaren is so hooked up. I'm sure he's just going to cruise past. Look, he's only in first gear, ladies and gentlemen. He's still pulling like 240. He's got this
He's
car
only
tuned
just
so
starting the
well.
party.
Yeah.
Got a final drive.
We've already talked.
600%.
It's crazy. And we've talked about he's running the Paul Newman secret sauce. Put it on
He's
your
got the Lloyd
pasta,
fuel.
stick it in your McLaren.
Forget the dread fuel, we've got the Lloyd fuel.
We've got the Lloyd fuel. It's around the sauce. Takes an interesting exit there.
Past Dado.
Oh, he's passes Dado.
Oh, side by side.
Who's going to
they're
give?
still
Dado's
side
not going
by
to give
side.
here.
Oh,
This is the leader here.
Oh,
Oh, Dark Racing takes advantage of it.
that's a bit
Well,
cheeky
that's,
there from Dado.
It is. He cost him a position.
It has.
But there's a... I've got to move my controller. I thought the lights went out then. Yes, so, but that shows a bit of maturity. So, all that time in ACC on PCs helped Colonel Lloyd. In previous races, we would have seen him push the issue there, where he's going, no, I'm just going to wait and wait to get past Dado.
have some patience,
see
especially
Dado.
through Eau Rouge.
Yep, because it can go terribly wrong there. So maturity here, and we're doing well. Like we say, we're what 40, coming up to 40 minutes in. No mistakes from Colonel Lloyd yet. Still running to 18s. To 18s. Now I wonder if he's found a bit of an AI that can drive as good as him. He's changed drivers at the start. It's just the AI driving. Dado finally lets him pass, runs wide out of Pouon. There we go. Colonel Lloyd gets the job done. Now he's got to get past Dark Racing again, so should be able to get this done. It'll be a replay of the last lap. Come into Stanzavot, get the exit out of here, onto Blanchimont, follow him up into the bus stop. Will he overtake him at the bus stop? Don't know. Yeah. He's just got a lift here, sit behind him. Very hard to get through here. 2x2.
Took a bit more curve there.
Dead's going to wait for the good run out of the bus stop and get him into the source once more. No, he's not going to mess around with these guys. Alright. So, Dread in second. Woody Lizard, he can't be far away from Penny now, Woody Lizard, I don't think.
Jeno's got past Aussie here as well.
Yeah. McLaren's starting to come into their own in the dark.
I know
He's
before I
well and truly
retired,
past him,
he
isn't
was
he?
complaining about the same thing I was. The car was very slippery, but I don't think he'll be there for that much longer. If he does, then well, good on him.
Maybe he needs to come in now, fix a bit of that damage, put the softs on. Yeah, running a bit wide.
You guys
So did you
running
run
hards on
hard
softs?
tyres?
But no, we were on the hards, and they were bloody brilliant earlier. Come to the race, and it's like,
Yep.
we're driving on ice
Yep.
blocks.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're sort of speculating. We reckon that Woody started on the softs. He had 80 litres of fuel. Wonder if he started on softs. Sato probably started on hards, had a full tank, and Woody caught him up, passed him easy. Although Sato does have a bit of damage. Yeah, let's see how much fuel left on Woody Lizard.
8.1 litres.
So maybe next lap or 2 laps he'll be the first of the scheduled pit stops we're going to get. Interesting to see how he comes out and what he does with his strategy. There's Dark Lord just hanging on, chasing down Weary Knight. A lap down though on Weary Knight. Hanging in there. Car's looking pretty second hand. Zach Speed Mobile number 1. Yep. But it's good to see him still running. Never know where you can finish.
He's got a top 10 at
It all
least.
happens. Yes, a top 10 at least, and with an hour and 38 to go, he may finish a lot higher. This is what I love about endurance racing. I did a race in iRacing for 4-hour race in a Mazda MX-5. In the class I was last, and I just kept going and I kept going, and in the last 3 laps I passed 3 cars, and then had a car pull out in front of me and battle for a position, and I made up 5 spots in the last 4 laps. All because everyone weary, tired, starts making mistakes, so just a matter of hanging in there sometimes.
A lot of these guys have been looking one stops still, I think, so it's just holding on to your hats, especially on the hard tyre at night.
Yes.
I know the Merc can do it in 1 stop if you fuel save. It's very, very marginal on fuel, but depends on the tyres, I guess, you're running.
Oh, Sato! Jeez, that was close. Talk about using track limits. You used all of it.
That's it.
Another coat of paint and the car's in the wall.
I'm pretty sure that little point there, that little building there, is a burger joint, and it's get to the point where they're probably getting a bit hungry, and he's like just put his order in, trying to get through the drive-through.
You can come pick it up next
and
time.
And that's it with contactless payment methods. You can easily do that without stopping these days. So,
He's asked for a bit of the.
hang it in there.
He's asked for a bit of the Paul Newman special sauce.
Yes, and I said sorry. Colonel Lloyd's got it all wrapped up.
Sorry,
You need to see the Colonel.
Dick Smith. We only got Dick Smith sauce.
So we should have Woody Lizard in next lap, I'm guessing. But this is a point. We're coming up to we're not quite an hour in, but about an hour and a half in is where these guys will start to think, why the hell did I decide to do this?
Woody's
gets
going
it,
to
you
pit.
just-
Woody's going on 3 litres.
Yes.
He's doing a 2-stop.
Yep. Yep, he's doing a 2-stop. And that's what we wondered, whether he's splitting it and he's going to go softs, and just run 80 litres each time.
On a 2-stop, yeah, I think he would be doing that.
Yeah.
And it's working for him so far. It's working for him.
Yeah, he's in 3rd.
And when you think about it,
he's
he's only 30 seconds or so behind Dredd, so that's working out pretty good for him. And as I say, the further into this race we get, the more mistakes are going to be made, especially once dawn comes.
Looks like
in the
Dado
dark,
is
sort of-
caught up to Darky again. These two going to be trading spots.
Yeah, Dado's caught up to Darky. Darky's a second slower that lap. Interesting to see. Of course, both of them have been in the pits, haven't they? So they're fueled a bit longer. So they've still got to come in again.
Both are a lap down as well.
Both are a lap down.
Darky was using Norton or Sinman Tech or something like that. McAfee probably be a little bit quicker.
Yeah, so just Microsoft Bitdefender.
Yep.
That's the way to go. But Kaspersky, yeah, as we talked about, it was really messing with his car. He was saying he was driving around in neutral, so I don't know how he's meant to take anything out of his figures. What's going on in his dashboard? Here we go. Woody's in the pits now. Go.
Get a timer up to see
Something
how long
up.
his pit stop is.
Interesting thing I learned about Spa is the pit lane is actually about a metre or so above the track. Freaked me out for a while I was watching some racing, seeing the cars above the pit wall. But that's what happens. If you pull up the speedo, we might be able to see how much fuel he puts in as well. That guy's got the... Interesting how they got fuel nozzles on both sides, even though the fuel for their car, the nozzle, I don't know what you call it, the intake's on one side. So there we go, he's going to 80 litres again. So I'm guessing he's gone for the softs once more.
A 35-second pit stop.
Yeah, Yeah, pretty good. So he'll gain some time on these guys in that way. Where's he going to come out? Just in front of Dark Racing?
Just in front of those.
Just in front of Dark. But of course he's got a lap on these guys. Or does he? No, I don't think he has. There's Colonel Lloyd.
Down a lap.
Just puts him a lap down. But
He
Colonel
will
Lloyd
get
still
that lap back. In fact, he'd probably be quicker initially. Once his tyres warm up. There's the 2 cars in the background there.
Yep, so that's worked well for him, so he's come out well ahead of those guys.
Very good
Just
camera
settling
work from
now.
the camera crew. They've got their cans of Red Bull.
Yeah, a lot better than the blokes at Barcelona, I'll tell you. There's something about that guy on turn 3, I don't know. Honestly, I think he might have just got his kid to just turn up and point the camera. So yeah, a lot better camera work here. Although I wish sometimes at the start of the race they need to learn to pan out a bit more so we can see a bit more of the action.
Oh!
And Aussie Carter's
He's
in the wall. There we go. You should never put red on a Mercedes. I think that's the lesson there. The red paint doesn't work on a Mercedes. Sticks it in the wall. One headlight. Looks like a motorbike. What's he going to do now? Is he going to try and push through? He's got 37 litres. He's going to have to make a stop. Yeah, I bet there's a few choice words going on there about the choice of car. As we discussed earlier, it's a car he hated the
Yeah,
least. out of
plenty
all
of
the cars
time
he
to
hated.
change.
It was a flip
He
of
did.
a coin. It should have been the Z4. Now he's got the Merc and he's regretting that decision.
It is. You can't swap it now. So, hard on the brakes, into the bus stop. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? He's going to
Keep it
keep
going.
going. He's like, nah, there's still a few panels that haven't got a dent in them, so we'll keep going. And the roof is intact as well. And the rear wing, amazingly. It's got both mirrors, one headlight. What could go wrong? 193 A&M Racing Mercedes.
At least you've got one A&M races still going.
There we go. So we've got Woody chasing him down. He was just on the start-finish straight, probably going around the source right now. He'll be the next one to catch this guy. Still handling pretty good through there. So built pretty tough, these cars. Of course they are GT3s. GTEs, you hit an insect and you'll get it. And Woody, yeah, nice through there. Dark Racing just going through Eau Rouge in the background. Looks like Dado has dropped off a bit as well. Not much happening. It's like Sato and Jetto. Jetto's closing in on Sato. Well, I say that, but then I'm looking at the marvellous timing that his project cars too, and he's probably at least half a lap behind, even though it says he's 1 second. And as we look at that, yeah, he's 4 seconds behind. So, but he is closing in on him. Interesting enough. So Sato's had a problem somewhere because Jetto's still maintaining his gap, but Sato's losing out. So obviously the temperature's dropped quite a bit now. Hard tyres are not doing the job. Wonder what Jetto started on. It's a shame we can't see that. It would make broadcasting so much more exciting.
It would.
Are you listening to that, Project Cars 4?
Are you listening to that FI8 Formula 1? Let them start on whatever tyre.
Yes. Oh, bring back the days when they used to mix and match, you know. They'd like stick the super hard one on the front right so that it would last the race. Those were the days. Those were the days. Yeah, there we go. Someone's flashing up at Sato, flashing his lights. Probably getting a bit bored, or he needs to stay awake. Maybe signalling to the pits that he's calling in for burgers. Put your order in. Oh, runs it wide. Runs it wide, pushing hard.
Maybe that's a flash
under
and
the
crash
grass.
because boy, he's trying to. Sato does this to get his continue his slowdowns as long as possible as well. We've seen him. We saw him do it at Le Mans.
He has a bit of trouble with his wheel every now and then too. But generally you would like get out of the accelerator to fix your wheel, but yeah. Just keeping it interesting. Oh, there we go. Just clipped the inside curb. It's not happening for him. I'm pretty sure he'll be keen to get back to iRacing. Yeah. Coming down into Pouon. Yeah, runs it wide there. Missed the apex by a mile.
Get the North Sea between him and the apex there. That's a scientific fact.
Campus, that's the corner I'm trying to look for. And here we go. So this, I'm just learning these corners here. So this is Stavelot, and then he's on to this is Cum Paul Friere.
Good attempt.
So there the
Full credit there.
I'll stick to it. That's the
Credit where it's
Australian
due.
interpretation. Yeah. I've named some corners, other things in my time as a broadcaster, and I've had a fair rap on the knuckles, so we'll stick with that. If that's French for swearing, I apologise. But yes, Blanchimont. Now, interesting on this map, they call it the chicane, but we all know it as the bus stop. But the funny thing is, I've never seen a bus stop there, or a seat with a few grannies waiting. To come across the start-finish line, it's Jetto once more. In the red 99 Gianskol McLaren. Interesting that it's an Italian sponsored British car. Don't know how that works, but is that a pizza chain? I don't know. It's got the Pirelli tyres on. All the headlights are working still well. I'm pretty sure it snowed down his neck of the woods earlier in the week, so he'd be glad to be in Belgium.
Record temps as well.
A heat wave.
Record
Yes,
temps.
we're not talking hot.
Negative 14.
Yes, negative 14 up at Lyowini. Good place to go fishing if you like ice fish.
You have to cut a hole in the lake. Traditional Eskimo style.
Yeah, that's it. Put the hut over, build a little fire in there. Catching Sato now. He's right on the back of Sato here. And this is for real.
I wonder if Sato has an
once
issue
more.
with the tyres. The tyres have dropped right off.
I think he has. On the grass once more.
I'd love to see the track temps if we had it, because they easily.
Yes.
He's leaving shadows. He's using all the track there, Sato.
Oh, he's gone, he's gone, he's gone. No. Held on to it
I
just.
can give you the track temperature if you want. I've got it on mine.
Oh, yes.
Yes, please.
So your ambient temperature is about 23 degrees and your track's about 30 by the looks of it.
Okay.
True.
That's
So
cold.
Let me think.
Still cold for the hard tyre though.
So for the uninitiated here, how are you finding this information? Are you still in the lobby, are you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oi,
Sato!
Sato!
There he is. He's gone to collect the orders for the burgers. He's picked it up pretty quick. He didn't even bother winding the window down. It just went straight through. And I'm sure he'll be in the pits to deliver that to the pit crew. It was 15 burgers, 5 large fries and 2 cokes. And here he is. What's he gonna do? Amazingly, I think his wing is made out of titanium because it hasn't moved. No, he's going around again.
Oh, you mounts
And just
the
for good
curb.
measure, give the sausage curb a bit of a run over as well. Dark Racing, who's he charging in? Is this Woody? Woody's got past Dark Racing? No, Dark Racing's caught up to him, of course.
I do like to correct you though. Giansko is an American car insurance company.
Oh, really? So,
Yes.
Italian immigrants that
Thank-
started out making pizzas.
Thank you, quickly for that.
So, as we've seen, this company, they immigrated from Italy, started out making pizzas, and there was no money, and turned into car insurance. There we go.
There's plenty of car insurance there. Sato,
Yes.
make a good claim.
And,
Claim a right door.
that's it. Claim the right door, the left door. And
Front
I'm pretty
bumper.
sure Giansko is probably insured this whole field.
So looks like
Who's that in
Aussie's
front?
had
So
a
Aussie
slow
Carter's-
lap as well.
Yeah, 227. Woody's at 222, so caught up 5 seconds there. Dark Racing not far behind. And Dado, yeah, just coming through Eau Rouge now as these guys come through Radion. So Woody Lizard. Of course, all these guys in front of Woody's still got to make a pit stop. Jetto up into third, mind you. So from last on the grid to third, great effort. About an hour into this race, so about an hour down.
It's probably about
Hour
the
and
only
23 to
aside
go.
from Lloyd and Dread that's kept it straight.
Or Aussie's
Yes,
actually let him
there's
past
only-
you.
He has. Didn't want to lose it somewhere and wreck their race. So yeah, Woody, Lloyd, Dredd and Jetto are the only guys to not damage their cars so far. Just driving consistent laps. I think Woody's been around the 222s and Jetto's a bit slower, 225 that one, but they've all been around the 222, 223 laps most of the time. Lloyd, so tyres are probably starting to wear out. Lloyd's down to 220s now, so he dropped off 2 seconds. But Dread's still maintaining about the 221, so I think Lloyd's got a pit stop.
He's gone.
Oh, there's Aussie, goes around. There he is. It's like who can take out the most cones, and at the moment he's doing well.
Dado gets past.
There goes Dado. Yep, only panel left is to hit the roof.
Sado's done well from that earlier accident as well from Weary Night. He's managed to keep the car okay.
Yes, and this is his experience in iRacing, where generally in the 24-hour races we've done and the 6-hour races, you damage the car and you learn to nurse at home. We're yet to get through a race without doing something. So
how was that from your perspective, Got Gecko? The head-on with the Bentley?
Oh. Yeah. that's it.
says it all.
Yeah.
You
That was all
heard
my
it from
fault.
the
That
man
wasn't
himself.
him. He had a blocked track because of me fucking losing the end.
He can't do
Anyway.
360s, it just didn't go off to the side. Continued on the racing line.
Yes. We thought you were just going to swing the nose out the way and he was going to go through, but
I tried.
you can't manage to grip up at the wrong time.
I know. Of all
Here we go,
times,
who's we got
usually it
here?
just spins and goes out of control.
Dark Racing and Woody.
Dark
the
Racing.
Ferrari is lit up.
Dark Racing. Yes, it has, all over Woody.
This is how the antivirus works when it sees a bit of malware. It just kind of lingers in there behind until the last minute where it gobbles it up.
Yeah, and this is for position 2. These guys are both a lap down, but Dark Racing, they've both got to make another pit stop. So, yeah, this is actually for position.
These guys seem to be together in the GTE series as well. They can't seem to separate. Woody and Darky.
Well, two of the longest serving members for the ANZCRL. So basically, I think Woody's been here since the start, and I think Dark Racing joined not long after. So they have a good handle on all these cars and these tracks. So it's starting to show through now. Interesting battle. Woody will be loving this. Trying to keep him at bay. But we've seen Dark Racing's had a few moments in the Ferrari.
Sado's had
Sado
another
crossing
moment
the
by the
line.
looks of that as well. So that car must
At the
be
moment,
very
yeah,
hard to handle at the
226.
moment. You can look at it, it's really loose. Up in the cockpit
How much
cam,
fuel have we got? Can't be
City's-
far away from pit
16
stops.
litres.
So what's that? About 4 or 5 laps.
So they are going for the one stop.
Yep. Oh,
Oh, he's using all the track possible there.
he is.
Got
Hanging
the
on to
inboard
it.
going.
Can't,
Do a lap.
can't wait to get the tyres on. Oh, yeah, he's got a bit of steering damage there. Car's wandering
does.
a bit. So suspension damage.
Those burgers haven't helped the car.
No, they haven't. Probably got a
Over
bit
the
of grease
curve.
on the steering wheel. Picking the chicken salt
Up in
off his
gear.
fingers.
Bit more curve there, a bit of exit curve. It's not helping the cause.
It's not. Interestingly, all three of those pylons are still on that corner there. I thought someone would have took them out for sure by now. And these are all gone, so
they're all
there's definitely a chance to cut that corner.
That floppy at the
Corner's
end
opened up a
still
lot
there
now.
too.
Oh, on the grass. Yeah, on the grass again.
Oh,
Oi.
he's using a
Hang
lot
on to
of
it,
curve.
son. Hang on to it. Yeah. Oh. Hang on to it. Still got about 4 or 5 laps to go. Nearly there. Bring it home. Sure he will.
Double dab of the brakes there.
Double dab. So what are we coming up to? We're nearly halfway. What do we want? We want 1 hour and 12 to go. We'll be halfway. So that's when we want to see people starting to come in. So lap 29. 2 cars on the lead lap. Colonel Lloyd and Dredd. And we've got I don't know. I don't think Lloyd
Pretty
will
sure
lap Dredd
Jetto and
before the
Sato
end.
both are.
Yeah. Sato is, Sato and Jeddah are.
Well, yeah. Of course, it all depends where they are on the lap. If the leaders have crossed the line and the others haven't. So it's Yep, you're right. These two still on the lead lap.
See where Darky is on Woody.
Right.
Woody, it looks like it
Dropped
made
off
a
a bit there.
slight mistake here. Possibly a half
I think.
spin.
Yeah. So Dark Racing's had a bit of a moment. He's dropped 3.5 seconds to Woody, where he was right on his tail before.
We've got a
see
couple
Sato,
of penalties
229.
this lap too. Oh, he's
Whoa, there we
got
go.
in drift style.
Line it up,
he's
line it
lined
up.
Oh, there's a
Hold the brake. There we go. It's a bit early to be doing donuts. Oh, he'll be spewing. Here we go. I wish I'd have driven the Audi now. Anyway, gets it back going. So it was a glitch in the matrix for Dark Racing. Sato coming out of the coons.
Sato is off
with
the
the right
race
hander.
here by about 5 seconds a lap. I know he's trying to get to
Yeah,
his
but
fuel load here, but he's losing a truckload of time. Because that looks like Woody behind him. Oh no, sorry, Colonel Lloyd,
Yep.
sorry, behind him.
Colonel Lloyd behind him. Yeah, going into Bruxelles. Through No Name, down the hill into Pouan.
Looking like Bambi on ice, that Mercedes at the moment. There he is
Oh,
there.
there he
just-
goes again.
The car generally looks like it wants to throw him into the wall. It looks awful.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
See, I would have
Trying to
laid
shake the
down
tail
and let
feather.
let the car take me. Because as on controller, you do not stop that from spinning.
True. Holding on. What's he got? 9 litres to go, so probably another 2 laps. Runs it wide. He's not finished with his order at the burger joint. Maybe he's gone back for napkins.
Flashing the
Flashing
lights
his
there
lights.
too. This is a
Obviously a
strategy.
bit forward.
This is to throw Colonel off.
It is. So he's driving wide. He's just letting him know that, look, my electrics are still working. And I've heard that
He's coming into pit lane
he's
now.
in the pits. Coming in the pits, so he should be able to get. He thinks he'll get to the end. Not quite halfway, but he should be able to get to the end. Definitely, if he fixes his car. So what do we have? We had Woody Lizard did a 35-second pit stop. He's going to come up and overtake Sato quite soon.
We'll have a look
First
how much
of the leaders.
this damage is done in terms of pit stop. I've got the stopwatch on him.
Yep.
Pit crew working really fast
There we
as
go.
well. So fast you can hardly
Yep.
see him.
That guy on the fuel hose. Oh. Will he get done for the spinning tyres? He's not holding the clutch in.
The tyre's
Rear wheels
slightly
turning.
spinning here.
Yep. Heaps of fuel's off. Can't remember
Woody's
the
got
order
past
they
him.
do this. Woody's gone past, Woody's gone through.
Fuel, tyres, then damage.
Okay, so Guessing they've done the tyres. Now it's damage. Just looking at the gap between Jetto and Woody, so what do we... Oh, that doesn't make any sense anyway.
Weary Knight's just gone past as well. So this is a very long stop. He's gone. It was about a 1:03 stop there.
Okay, would have seemed like an eternity.
So Woody's back up to 4th. Dado
Up to 4th.
in 5th.
34 seconds behind. Yep. Dado's 6 seconds away from Woody. He's driven a pretty good race, except for that one incident there at Lacombe. Dado's, and I think a couple of laps after, he got a bit flustered. He settled back down into a rhythm now. He's driving quite well. So Dado's got past Dark Racing. Oh, that's right. We saw him spin in the bus stop, and Dado drove past. But he dropped 11 seconds there. Just looking to get to the second pit stop.
Sideways coming out of that corner there, Darky.
Yeah. So tyres are starting to become a problem. Well, Jetto runs wide out of the source.
Definitely my driver of the day so far.
Yes.
Possibly behind
Yeah,
Max
he'll be having
Verstappen, actually.
Behind Max Verstappen and Jason Day, and he's he'd be quietly chuckling to himself, you know, considering he was one of the slowest and finished last. He's still
Started at
circulating just
11th,
nicely. Currently third. He's got a 33-second gap over Woody Lizard.
So from the giant German contingency that joined this race, we've got British, Italian, and then British on the podium.
British. Yep. That's it.
That being said, Woody Lizard has played himself nicely in terms of strategy, though.
He has, but he needs to get up to Jetto because they've both got to pit again. So, well, Jetto's yet to pit, but Woody's got to pit again. So, he's got at least another minute in pit lane from entry to exit. So, he's not quite there yet. He's got a good strategy. He's obviously on the better tyres, as we see the sky starting to lighten up in the background.
He will have to stop less than Jetto and Dredd and all that.
Yes.
He is a lap down, though.
He's a lap down. And Spa is the long pit lane. It's just lucky it's not the 24-hour pit, because then I think he definitely would have went one-stop strategy.
Yeah.
Yep, but yeah, good racing, good clean racing. As we said, these first 4 cars, no damage on them. We've had someone else just drop out. I'm not sure, is that Aussie Carter's? Yep, he's gone as well.
Yes, he's gone.
Yeah. Put the queue in the rack. So A&M Racing, bad choice of manufacturer. Unfortunate for them, both out of the race.
So that's another position for Dark Lord there.
Yep.
Colonel
Here we go,
Lloyd's
leaders in the pits. Still had 16 litres of fuel to go too, so obviously he's going to make it to the end easy. So he's got 16 litres left. He's running miles faster than anyone else. What's he got in this car? I reckon there'll be there might be a few protests after the race for these guys.
We'll be testing his fuel.
What is going on? Yeah, and I just wonder, has he got like the Formula 1 motor in there rather than the
got a bit of DRS.
No, he's got the GT1 motor and the GT3.
GT1 and
And
drag
DAS.
reduction system and the whole hybrid. He's got it all in there. There we go, filled up, 90 litres. So that's enough. He started with 130.
It's still going.
Oh no, there we go.
106.
Oh, they've got this amazing fuel system where it actually fills up without the nozzle. This is part of the new developments at McLaren. I've heard about this with the T50. It's one of these ones that Gordon Murray's built. So obviously he's had some input in this in the last week.
So we're going to get a rough
What are we
idea
waiting
how
for now? Tyres.
Woody's pit stop's going to be about 30-ish seconds. This is a long pit stop for you, though.
It
the
is,
time to
isn't it?
do
Like I
but
said,
it's-
I did say that he had such a lead that I reckon he'll go out and have a cigarette and a scotch.
So it's a minute
while he was
and minute
waiting.
11 pit stop right there.
Minute 11 for a stop. Okay, so
Where you'll probably be seeing Woody coming maybe about 40 seconds.
Jetto.
Which puts Dredd in the lead of the race. We've got our first lead change.
We've got our first
Exciting
lead change. Dredd in the
times.
lead. And he's going to be in soon too because he's got 5 litres left. And he'll be lucky to get back to the pits knowing the Lamborghini with that amount of fuel. Jetto's still in third, so he didn't quite get Colonel Lloyd. That's how big a lead Colonel Lloyd had over him. But yeah, here's Dredd. As per usual, we hardly see him. Generally it's because he's so far in front, but this time it's because he's been in no man's land and everything's been happening around him. Car looks nice and balanced through there. Just biding his time. There he goes, running fuel map 4. I don't know how accurate those tyre temps are. His best lap at 2:20, so he's been at least 2 seconds slower than Colonel Lloyd for most of the race. And if he didn't pit now, I'm pretty sure. Here we go. Look, 3.8 litres. So yeah, this will be definitely in the pits this time.
We need to take on a fair bit of fuel. The Lambo does like to drink.
Yep. So he's made it halfway. So now we'll get to the end. And now it's like, what tyres though?
So we'll go on board with him and see how he pulls into his pit box here. It's a very hard thing to do sometimes, you could miss it. Eddie nails it perfectly. Egg Melt, good sponsor for Project Cars 3.
That's the Bavarian chicken farmers. Egg Melt. It's more, here comes Jetto.
Jetto may have another lap in him here.
I think he's probably got 2. Dark Racing in the background, so Dark Racing's had another off, 2:36. So Jetto's got past him.
He's pitted. He's 117 litres. He pitted at the same time as Sado.
So we didn't see him.
So he's done a nice trip into the box. The car's filled to the end.
He must have had a bit of damage because Sado's pulled 40 seconds on him then, and Sado had quite a bit of damage.
Yeah.
Dredd still in the pits. Lloyd taking back the lead. Jetto, is Jetto about to take second place?
Jetto's still got about 30 seconds. Dredd's coming out, so this is going to be tight on exit here. There's the Lambo in pit lane. I think Jetto should be coming out.
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
Race up the hill. I'm sure
Jetto's
Dredd won't
got him.
fight him because he knows. So Jetto up to second, only for a fleeting moment, but brilliant drive. Last to second.
Oh, who we got there? Dark Racing just over the curve.
Like, cuts the curve.
Oh, look at
Mowing
that,
down
he's
Jetto.
got speed.
He's got speed. Absolutely loving it.
I can name a whole
Finally got
pile
someone
of
to race.
race directors that were not too keen on that. I'll start with Craig Baird, Max Mosley. There's a few of them.
Just a few of them. Oh, what would they know? That's how you ruin races. Come on. Let the drivers drive. Okay.
So he'd also had
third place.
needs to get his tyres up to pressure as well too. There's no point fighting on semi-coolish tyres. Very easy to put it in the wall.
Yep. And he's actually pulled some time on Colonel Lloyd, through the pit stops. I think he's made up about 10 seconds. But like I say, he's got to get settled into his car, get used to the balance changing now on a full tank, get the tyres up to temperature, keep it on the track. But yeah, good to see a battle going on. Even if it's so he's I think you'll definitely. Well, where's he going to pass him? Into the bus stop?
That'd be the next place to do that.
Yep. He's going to get him. Maybe he'll get him before. Going around the outside. Yeah, he's going to go around the outside.
You just have to back off. Doesn't seem to take it flat through there, Dredd.
No, and sometimes you got to lift just if you're in the aero wash. Oh,
Jetto's got a pit anyway.
Into the pits now, Jetto. Yep. Oh, nearly hits that dangerous part of the curb there. Keeps it going, so good job for him. Into the pit. So next thing is where's he come out compared to Woody Lizard? Woody Lizard coming around Blanchimont.
From this, I would say behind.
Yep, how far? 35 seconds?
Yeah.
Probably a minute. I reckon he'll be a minute behind. Minute behind. He's just getting the fuel in now. Still got to do the tyres. Coming to an hour to go.
There's Woody passing there.
Crosses the line. Of course, Woody Lizard, he's still got another pit stop to make. Datto's closing down the gap there on Woody. So he's still in the hunt here for a podium. Oh! Yep. He's coming to his own in the dark. And Datto is yet to pit. Is he? Yeah, he's got to pit again as well. So Datto can't be far away from pitting. Here's the leader coming up to Sato. Sato's car's been renewed, so interesting to see the difference here. It's not going to make it easy.
This is the fight to stay on the lead lap as well.
Fight to stay on the lead lap. He's not going to do it though. He'll have the blue flags. We'll have to let him go. Yep, so Datto, what's he got? About another lap or so. Is he going to try and catch Woody? Pass him before he comes in?
There's Jetto out.
Jetto's out. Battling with Weary Knight's going to let him go, so... Oh, that's for position as well.
Just in front of Colonel Boyd as well, so he's managed to stay on the lead lap too there, Jetto.
Yep, stayed on the lead lap.
Weary and Datto still, and Woody's still in pit.
Yep. So still a lot to happen here in this race. A few battles on the track, sort of for position, but not really, because pit stop's still got to play into it a bit. I wonder if Jetto overfueled there to get to the end. He might have been able to save a few seconds. But McLaren's have been known to run out fuel before the end of the race. Still hanging in there though.
Haven't seen much of Weary Knight.
No, ever since that incident at the beginning in the lagoon where he got it a bit sideways, and then of course Pinning got Gecko as they come out of Pouon. Absolutely nailed him.
In the tail on the A&M Motorsport Mercedes, that's what it was.
Yeah. Probably would have had a good race, I think, if it wasn't for that. His car looked good early on. And we know it's a big boy, so it would have been hard to pass. He can make that super wide.
Big boy.
The big boy. Big boaty boy.
Yeah, guys.
Datto's got another lap there.
Datto's got another lap. Yep, he's going to do one more. I think that was Aussie who you just heard. Just make sure you got your sound check to be included, your audio in the broadcast.
Yeah, we're included.
And then tell us all about your pain, mate.
I can't use those words on here.
It's alright. We can make this a counselling session. So we've worked out that you don't put red on Mercedes. It just doesn't work. It only seems to work on Ferraris. Tyres were a big issue, we're guessing. Has it got colder? Was that more of a problem, or?
I think the issue I had was just car setup. Tyres were fine, temperatures were fine, pressures were fine.
This car was just rubbish. It was 3 laps in, and after that, it just oversteer like mad mid corner to exit. It was really unpredictable. Just didn't know, one lap it would oversteer, and then the next lap it would understeer in the same spot. So it's just very, very weird.
Yep.
I just got sick and tired
Yes.
of
Well,
catching
we
it.
wonder if Dark Racing got around with the Kaspersky software to a few of these cars before the start of the race, and they've thrown a bit of a glitch in there. We've been talking about his car, and here we go. Is that Dark Lord just coming out of the pits?
Yeah, he's
Past,
had a
to be passed
4-minute
by Dark
pit stop.
Racing. 4 minutes, and they still didn't get all
brand
the
new car.
damage done.
They've done a full spanker on it by the looks of it. Except for the front end.
It's that left-hand side looks pretty odd, so maybe he's just fixed mechanical and not aero. But he's still hanging in there. He's still hanging in there. And is this Datto's going around again?
Datto is running a very bold strategy.
And we
Five
got
and a half.
Fred in pit lane.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
Again. Oh, I
A
wonder what's happened
possible
there.
accident here.
And we've missed that.
Cold tyres have caught him out.
Okay. Might be.
The Kaspersky software. The bitter
Yes.
enemies, Ferrari and Lamborghini.
Yes, they have. And so it looks like the Kaspersky software has been doing its work. Throwing a spanner in the works. So where's that put Dredd? So Dredd's
Dredd's
down
sitting
into 4th. Datto 4th, and
Datto yet to pit. And Woody, I'd
we've
say.
got quite a few cars on the lead lap again. Yep. So Datto yet to pit, or that'll be his second pit stop. He pitted early in the race. Woody's still got one more to go. Everybody else should be right to the end. Although does Weary got a Weary came in
Weary should
earlier,
be
didn't he?
Weary's got 32 litres left.
Yeah, so he's got to come. He's got to come in again. So yeah,
There's
still
the
a bit to
fight
come
down
out
the
here. Here we go.
background here. Colonel Lloyd is past
That's
Jetto.
McLaren versus a McLaren.
Discount
It's a
tyre
Danny's.
versus former Italian pizza place / American car insurance company.
Yes. Yes, interesting. So who are they? The discount tyre place.
Yeah, discount
Gotta look up
tyres.
a bit of history. Gotta look up a bit of history there. The team K-Pax Racing. K-Pax Racing. Okay, I'm not quite sure where that's come from. Maybe it's a Pacific Island tyre company. And their rubber comes from the Malaysian rubber trees. That's where we get the discount tyres, rather than the synthetic stuff we have today. It's a shame they can't spell, so obviously they were an American company as well. Yes, but it's doing
Datto
a
in the
job.
pits.
Whatever their rubber they're running. Try saying that 3 times fast for the 4 beers up there.
2.4
Datto
litres.
in the pits.
So he's only using about 3.5 litres a lap there. That's not bad
Yeah,
fuel
he's
economy.
got a
only
chance.
uses about 3.5.
That's Honda
He's got a
fuel
ch-
economy.
He's got a chance to make up some time here, but knowing Datto, he'll just fill it because he's afraid of running out. But 55 minutes to go. What's he got? 2-minute 20 laps. So, he probably only needs about 80 litres to get him to the end. He's on a Woody strategy. Maybe about 100 litres. So he could have saved some time, but he'll fill it to the end. He won't take any risks. He's running the Hankook tyres. So this is a multi-tyre race as well. Something we weren't aware of at the start. There we go, 84, 102. Yeah, it's going all the way. Let's fill her up, he says, boys. That way I can't run out. He's gone through on him now. Everybody.
Lloyd into the wall.
Lloyd into the
Oh,
wall.
no. He didn't get the wall.
There it
left
is.
did he?
Get the wall of death. Been waiting for it. I have spoken
Built a
about
1 minute
Lloyd's
17 second there. He's in the wall. The thing that saved him is the Dredd must have seen the wall as well.
So we spoke about how he's fast, but he's prone to making a mistake. Now he's got to get the car back, get in the pits, get it fixed, and then settle down. I really think he's hanging out for that cigarette and scotch. That's probably what his issue is. Meanwhile, Jetto's got past, back on the lead lap. Weary Knight's in front of him, Dread in front of them, and Woody Lizard is yet to pit.
Dread's had another slow lap as well at 2:29, so he's gone off the road somewhere as well.
I was just
this is
watching
where it all
on
starts
board
to happen.
Lloyd. There's not much damage in terms of steering. His steering looks pretty straight. And Dread looks
This is
about
where I
the
was
same
saying
too.
it's when the sun starts to come up. These guys have been racing all night. It's where the problems start to happen. Track starts to change a little bit. You start to see a bit more of the track, so you start to go a bit deeper on the brakes, push a bit harder, and the mistakes come. But unusual to see Dread have mistakes. I can't recall calling a race where he's had a mistake this year. So, but then this is the longest he's driven for too. We're coming up to an hour and a half in the seat. All new territory for a lot of these guys. Looks like Lloyd's got a penalty as well. It's a very second-hand Zach Speed Mobile 1. Weary Knight with a 4-second penalty. Dark Lord with 2 seconds. Dark Lord with a second-hand looking Mercedes.
Oh, and Lloyd is in the pits.
Lloyd is in the pits.
My game is... There we go. Okay, my game glitched.
Oh.
Get off the timing.
I was going to say, don't do
That's
that.
happened before. You did that last time when I was with you.
Don't do a Jetto and drop out and leave us on the timing screen. Alright, so Lloyd's in the pits. Where's he going to come out? We've got Woody chasing him down. 30 seconds, apparently. 47 seconds. 55. 52.
Woody's
Who knows
a
what the
bit
timing's
further
doing.
back.
Here we
He's
go.
still in
Push him
sector
on.
2.
He's down -1. He's actually
Oh,
in front by a minute.
Oh,
so,
pull on.
Lloyd's out.
And he's out. Okay. So he's had his wake-up call. Just a reminder of what he's doing. Can he refocus now? Keep his mind on the job or bring it home? Up until then, his rear wing looks a bit... Oh no, maybe it's just a camera angle. But he'd driven a faultless race up until then. Anyway, it brings a few other guys back into the hunt. Red, Weary Knight, what a great race for him after having a few incidents up into 4th.
Looks like Sato's
on the
closing in on
cards for him.
Jetto there too.
Sato closing in on Jetto. Of course, he's had his car rebuilt since we last seen him, and oh no, he's had a prang in the left-hand side. Is that right?
Yeah, that's when he collected those
Yeah.
burgers. Still
He
running
collected the
wide though
burgers.
through there. So
Yeah, I
Quick
think
Pick,
he's had
which
another
is,
off.
Quick Pick, which is big on his companies, said that K-Pax is American Performance Parts. I think we need to bring in a
American
statistician.
Okay. Well, he can be the researcher. So if you want to let us know where Premier Motorsports originated from, because I got no idea, but they seem to be the number 1 in motorsports, although they're running 2nd and 6th here today. Yep.
So you're saying
Yeah.
it's they're number 1, not 9 out of 10 dentists?
More than likely. So Premier Motorsports, they supply all the toothbrushes to all the teams. That's where they come from. They're a toothbrush company. Number 1 in toothbrushes. Now, obviously, so I think Weary Knight, he needs to turn some of them lights off, because I can't really see much when he's coming down there. I hate it when people drive with high beam. Please turn your headlights off. Anyway, he's hanging in there. He's doing 222s, which is about average for most of these guys. In 4th place. The goal for him is, like, can he close enough time in on Woody Lizard? Now, I'm not sure exactly what the time is, because Woody's still got another pit stop, which we think will take about a minute from pit entry to pit exit.
I think
So between him and Woody Lizard for the next spot on the podium, I'm guessing. 3rd place.
Be him
So-
and Shadow as well.
Yeah, I think
Shadow
he's got
would
the.
be very.
I think he's got the Woody Lizard all over Jetto. Unless there's another incident. Yeah, Dreddle should pick up 2nd once Woody comes in. So this is the race here. This is the race we're looking at. How, even though they're not together on track, can Weary Knight close enough gap on Woody to cancel out Woody's next pit stop? And
Weary
he's not
does
far
have
away
to
from
come in
pitting,
as
so
well, though.
he does he?
Does, yes. Weary
He
Knight
hasn't got much
has
fuel left.
18 litres of fuel.
Oh, he has too. Yeah, so
So
that
the
brings
fight-
Jetto way back into the equation.
The fight's going to be between Woody and Jetto.
Woody and Jetto. Yes.
And
Okay,
Lloyd's
so
just
I got
trying
all
to lap
excited
Dado
over
right
nothing.
now.
Not Dado
We've
there
already
too.
seen Dado. Yeah, we've already seen Dado give Colonel Lloyd a hard time before, but this time
Let's him
go
through his
through.
time.
Yeah. Almost ran him off the road going through Eau Rouge and Radion earlier on in the piece. But obviously settled down now. Okay, he's a second and a half down his best lap. 2:27 was his last lap. Alright.
Coming out of pit lane as well, though, too.
Yes. Just looking good, this car. I almost want to get in and have a drive of it. I know he won't let me, but it'd be nice to just see how it feels. Here is someone we haven't seen for a while, Dark Racing,
See,
and then we're not going to see him for a while again. Oh, there he's back.
Sato's in the
back.
pits.
He's back behind.
Sato's
all-
in the pits.
He's
Yes.
down, back up, down a lap. Yeah. Darky, that.
He looks like he's had a
Ferrari's
bit of
not
an
working
off.
for him. Yeah, he had a nice.
He's had a few.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah,
do
so
have
Sato
Sato
in the
in pit
pits,
lane.
not quite
Oh, Jesus. More damage onto that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
we said that
he's
car
had
didn't
off.
look right. Yep, he's got the Spider-Man graphics all over his windscreen, and he's had a big off. So he still hasn't adjusted back from iRacing to Project Cars. And interesting to see whether he runs Bathurst this year. Oh, what's he doing?
Colonel-
Oh, he's away again.
Colonel Lloyd's back on the pace because he's just done a 2:18.8.
2:18.8, yeah.
And keep
That's
in
it.
mind, he also lapped Dado on that lap too.
Yeah.
So he's, very
Yeah.
quick.
Very
And Sato
quick.
as well.
He's been 2 seconds a lap faster than anyone for most of the race. He's just got to stay focused. He's had his wake-up call. Let's hope that's the only one he needs, and he brings it home now. 45 minutes to go as the sun's coming up over the Spa-Francorchamps. Here we are. Who's this? Weary Knight coming into the bus stop. The 85 Bentley.
Woody has made a mistake as well too because he's just done a 2:30, so he's lost a truckload of time. So
Yeah, and he's not far away from a pit. He's probably thinking, if he's like me, he's probably starting to think of pit stops, and then that's where it all goes wrong for me. I love it when I've got a crew chief that tells me what to do. He's up already though. He's up on his Delta. Yep, all I want to do is drive. I don't need to be working out fuel and tyres and when I'm coming in. It's too much of a distraction, especially when I'm driving by myself. So Woody will be in this lap. Dread should jump him in the pit stop. Weary Knight won't be far away from coming in as well. Then Jetto. So where's Woody going to come out compared to
it
Jetto?
looks like we've got about a
That's the
40-second
biggest
gap between the two. So Woody's expecting.
So that should put Jetto in front.
Yeah.
Or pretty close to being maybe 10 seconds up the road from him
Yeah.
when he comes out. Got this car looking good. He's driving a lot better than his teammate. Hasn't really put a foot wrong. Of course, he got a good break when Weary Knight, Dado and Sato all got it messed up in Lacombe early in the race. I think that was about lap 4. And then he's just maintained the pace. Like we said, he's been running about 2-minute 22s. Doing what he's got to do. Dado coming up out of Radion. Turn the headlights off, trying to conserve power. Head down to Kessel Straight. Interesting line he's taken down there.
Middle of the circuit.
He's going. Is that Dark Racing in the background? These two have sort of been battling on and off throughout the race. Cool Aviation. Is that the name? I don't think that's the team. I don't know what's going on with the liveries.
He's in
on
the
here.
pits and he's spun coming in. He's spun coming in the
He
pits.
spun coming in. Oh. Let's hope he didn't damage the car.
I don't think he did. I think he just missed the wall. It's very
There's
close.
that horrible little concrete upright thing on the left hand side as you come in. He's in. He'll be glad to get this out the way so he can just concentrate on the last bit of the race.
That's Mercedes is so advanced with technology they didn't actually change tyres to change tyres.
Yes, this is it. I think they just wave a magic wand these days, don't they?
Eh.
And the
Joe's
rubber
just coming
just
up to the
automatically
last
goes back.
chicane.
There we go. He's running the
think Jetto's
Pirelli
gonna hit him.
P0s. There's Weary Knight going through. Here's Jetto.
Yep. Jetto's just coming
Crossing the
through.
line now. Passes Woody in the
Still
pits,
in
so
there.
still got to do the tyres. He's probably got to fix a little bit of damage if he had a spin. Maybe he's just tapped something that he shouldn't have. And he's off. No,
72,
I reckon he didn't have any
7.
damage.
That spin's actually cost
Leaders.
him a truckload of time. He's
It
gonna be
has,
looking
hasn't it?
probably closer to 20 seconds, 25 seconds.
Yeah, ruined a good race. But at saying that, he is 2 seconds a lap faster than Jetto. Maybe
Datto's
3.
had a mistake,
so,
though.
Oh, Datto coming out of Blanchimont. So
Looks like we got a
might
bit
be
of
an
damage
interesting
on that
race.
Mercedes as well. I'd be surprised if we see him pit lane. No, he's still going.
I think it's at the point in the race where you just grin and bear it till the end now. So Dark Racing's got past Datto. Maybe that's what was. We mightn't have caught that, but maybe Dark Racing was pressuring him coming through Blanchimont. He just ran a bit wide. Weary Knight's probably the next one to pit.
About 3 seconds between them. So it looks like he's caught the curve again on the exit there and he's kind of lost it.
Yes.
Special roof cam here. A hamburger cam. Supercars have it,
Hamburger cam.
so does this Ferrari.
Sounds so quiet, this car, isn't it?
Eh.
Oh, wide.
Oh,
wide.
he's
And around
lost.
he goes.
That's,
On the grass. This will give Datto a chance to close back up. Gets it going. Again, Lacombe. There's Datto in the background. Just awkward. If you miss the apex there or you miss the line there, I don't know what it is about that corner. I'm pretty sure those people have been having a banana party out there again. You just seem to lose it on the banana skins. Anyway, he comes down through no name's got it back together. He's got to get his rhythm back now. That's the hardest bit after having a spin, settling in, getting your rhythm back.
And Weary's in the pits.
Datto chasing him down.
Sorry, I just wanted
Weary
to throw
Knight
that
in the
out.
pits. Yep.
there's the
It's good. It's good having a third person to tell us what's going on because
The,
I'm too busy waffling and Maddie's too busy pointing the camera. We don't know what's going on. Here we go.
Yeah, the bonnet popped up here. Another pit stop
Bonnet's
there where
popped
they
up.
Bentley's also got the technology where we don't have to actually change the tyres to change the Michelin's. The Michelin's
I love this
performing a
fabric
lot.
that these guys are wearing.
The Michelin's performing a lot better than what they did in the 2005 American Grand Prix, which is a good sign as well.
It is. And away he goes. 76 litres. That should be more than enough to get to the end. As he comes out of the pits now, he's in 5th spot. So that puts Jetto. So now everybody should
Driver
have
of the
completed
day.
their final stops. Yes, Max Verstappen.
Jason
Not sure where he
Day.
is on track, but it's Jason Day, Max Verstappen.
Then Jetto.
Not quite sure. And then Jetto. He's been outdone by some world-class sports people, but no, he could still win this. So everyone should have completed their final stops.
Looks like Sato's got a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's had a
Floating all
massive
over the road.
Sato's had issues with that car since probably about midnight.
Datto's in the pits for
Yes.
repairs by the looks of it.
seem to be
Dado's
really
in the
tailing.
pits. Yep.
Oh, he's had another one by the looks of it. The roof is
Oh, looks like it's crabbing across
angled. It's had a roll.
Persevering though.
Yeah, the roof's gone on it as well.
Oh yeah, Sato, yeah, he's been on his lead.
He's updated the coefficient of drag to that car to almost about 3.5. Most cars lean towards about 0.1, so it's not nice on that Merc.
Miles not. Be interesting to see what his top speed is coming down Kessel or Kemmel, or the big straight anyway. Is Dado in there?
We've actually got Lloyd trying to lap Woody.
That'll pack some more.
But almost the whole field, nearly.
Yep.
All his runs a
Great
bit
drive.
wide
Runs
there.
wide. Thought about a burger and then thought, no, I reckon I'll prefer Kentucky Fried.
Sato must have shares in that burger joint though. He's seen that a few times.
He has. And so, is he going to let him go? Woody's let him go here into the bus stop. Not much he can do. So I think we've sort of settled down a bit now. So Lloyd in first, Red in second, Jetto third, Woody in fourth, Weary Knight in fifth. I suppose will Dark Racing be able to chase down Weary Knight? One of the questions. Sato is probably out of it altogether because his car just doesn't seem to be doing what he wants it to do. Dado, unfortunately for him, is at an off. It's in the pits. It's coming out, dropped down to 8.
Just run right into turn 3 or 4, whatever it is.
So Weary Knight's come out of pit lane and done a 2:31. We've had Darky with a spin, Sato with a mistake, and Dado coming out of pit lane. All 4 of those guys have had issues that lap.
Oh, I thought he was on the grass then.
It looks like Dado's still struggling. He's got a bit of an issue going on there.
Oh, he misses the apex there, but keeps it stable as well.
Yeah, I think his crew chief needs to have a word to him and just say, look, mate, you've got a minute 15 lead. Don't risk it. I mean, you don't want to ease off too much because you can make mistakes, but doesn't need to push that hard. There he is, wide again. Oh, I feel something's going to happen here. This is the beauty of these races, the extra long races. What have we got? 36 minutes to go. So almost coming up onto the 2-hour mark. These guys have been sitting in their cockpits for nearly 2 hours. It can be tough if you haven't got a nice comfy chair. Looks like a better line through there. Back to second, up to third, hard on the brakes. Down to second, good exit. Down a second and a half as we can see on his best lap. Hold it together. Minute 12 over Dread now. This car sounds pretty meaty actually. Liking it.
Like they got Dado back in pit lane again.
Oh, things go from bad to worse. Dado.
It's struggling.
Close to the end.
I think Dado's ready for a VB.
Yeah.
For a VB.
That's a lap of Spa, circuit de Spa for Oxshall.
Yep, and a good one.
Got more damage on the front there. I don't know if he's actually in his pit box there. There we go.
He's missed it. 35 minutes to go. He's looking to just bring it home now.
Sato's got a
Whoa!
moment as he's sliding straight into my DMs.
Yes. What a way to make an entrance. It's like there's an empty track and whoosh, here I am. Come into there backwards. Hanging on. It's a wonder he can see out of that windscreen. It's a wonder he can see out of that car.
You already sit about 4 meters back from the front of the car. You add another meter of height
Yes.
due to a pushed-in bonnet. It's a
Just hanging onto it now.
He's had a couple of
Excuse
spins
me.
this lap because he's down 16 seconds.
Yes. Lloyd's put in a 2:18. Meanwhile, then the
You're
next
on him
best
with that
lap's a
lap as well.
2:20. 2:21.5
Oh, he's on the grass there.
on the grass. Something's going to happen here. Plenty of fuel.
And the
On
guys,
the brakes.
if you need your lawn mode, we do call the league. We do provide that as well, as you've just seen there from Sato.
It'll be done in a flash. Just make sure you've got plenty of space for a run-up. That's the main thing we ask
Oh,
for.
he's in the wall in
Hits
pit lane.
It's the wall in pit lane. Not good. Not good. This is Weary Night. Hanging on to P5. What's he got? 11 seconds. So he's 10 seconds behind Woody. I think that's a bit closer than what they were when they pitted. And 11 seconds to Dark Racing. So this might be where the interest is in this race. Where these three guys end up. I'm saying, Weary bit unlucky. He had got Gecko spin in front of him and he nailed him head on. Did lose it into Lacombe, which started a chain of events. Since then, he's settled down nicely, just running along, doing his job, biding his time for the last half hour. As we see Dado start to head out onto Blanchimont. Looking pretty second hand. Might need to get away from the blue colours. I don't think they suit him. Doesn't match his eyes, and that's probably why he's having some trouble with these cars running the blue liveries.
He did win Le Mans in a blue livery though.
He did he? Must have been a fluke. That's a disservice to the man.
He's going to be unhappy with that comment. Expect a dive bomb in turn 1 next race.
You can just email it to me to complaints@nightpegasus.com. And I think here he is. So he's closing in on Sato now. Did Sato get a full rebuild? No.
By the looks of it,
So
no.
It's a new style. I have this huge bump. I think
he's going to be having a
push the air.
Absolute mess driving out of that. That's the view.
I think the way that bonnet's shaped, that there's actually no air getting to the rear wing. It's just going straight up and over the car. Oh, very slow through here. Very slow. Dado all over the back of him now.
The only difference between the two is the Spider-Man windscreen. As you can see on the top of Dado's car there, 24-hour service.
Whoa!
That's definitely what Dado needs for the car.
Yes, he should just hook a trailer on with the pit crew in the back. They can just fix it up on the fly. Okay, here we are, coming through to Pouon. Last time we saw Sato, he was going through here backwards. What's he do this time? Stays off the inside curve off the grass. That's a good start. Dado with a better line out of there. Gets a run on. If they come into this
Poked his nose in there.
chicane. He did, and it's looking horrible. Alright, they come down to Stavelot. Hard on the brakes, runs wide, out in the dirt. I think he missed the gear there. I think he should have changed down a second a bit earlier, but he's missed it. Giving Sato a bit of breathing space. It really is an art following a car, especially closely. You just got to lift a bit earlier, brake a bit earlier, and then you can get on the throttle a bit earlier and maintain some pace. Easier said than done. And here we are, Colonel Lloyd coming through Lacombe. Alright, half an hour to go, just under half an hour to go, lap 49, doing it good, another 2:18 for him. There's Dark Lord in the background, the return of Sauron. Here's Dreadnought. Well, we haven't seen him put a foot wrong, but he's done it a couple of times in the Kermit the Frog Lamborghini. Nice looking car, but it doesn't seem to be fast enough.
If anyone can tell me what the sponsor does as well, I'm happy to. What we got there?
Let's have a look.
Petronara or something like that.
Well, it's actually the number 63 Grasso Racing, so I think this is the lawnmower company, hence they got the green. So I think it's a Grasso. So
Italian
they do
Jim's
high-powered.
mowing. I like it.
That's it. Yes, and they have the high-powered V12 lawnmowers. They come in a variety of styles, from the ride-on to the push mower, and I've even heard that they make whippersnippers as well. So the Grasso Racing Lamborghini, all green.
Coming
As we
from
talk about
Ferrari's
the
background
Italians.
of tractors and ploughing back in the day.
Yeah, that's it. All from the farming equipment. As we look at the Grasco Italian immigrant pizza franchise that bought into the car insurance, running quite well in third position. Great drive. It's a shame
back.
Max Verstappen and Jason Day were in the race. Here we are. Dado slowly mowing down. As we're talking about mowing all the time, he's slowing mowing down Sado.
Sado and Dado have been together this entire race.
They have.
Just got to add
And it's,
Jeno to that. You got the triple O's. Oh, Sado's out there getting another order.
He is. They make good burgers out there. Comes back on. I think there's a slowdown you get out there, so you hang on to that one as long as you can. Oh, look, he just can't stay off the grass. I'm beginning to wonder if he's got a marijuana asphyxiation.
So we do
always on
have
the grass,
breaking
this man.
news. The Wall of Death has
Yes.
claimed the first victim. Lobby 2 slide
Oh.
science.
Slide science. Oh, I feel for Slide. He has so many issues. I hope he, well, that's it. He's dead, isn't he? Hit the
Yeah.
wall of death, blows the motor up 100%. So far into, almost 2 hours into the race. Nothing worse. Nothing worse. Except blowing up on the last lap, of course.
Oh,
But these two here. So what do we have? How many Mercedes do we have start this race? Let me just count this up.
that's 6
1,
minus
2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Mercedes in the race, and only one of them is going to come home without panel damage. Touch wood. I don't want to put the mockers on him yet. And that's Woody Lizard here. Car looking pretty good. The 123 Premier Motorsports. Suppliers of toothbrushes to all of our teams this week. And looking quite good. So what's he got? 15 seconds. So Jetto's pulled out a bit of time on him, and Weary Night, he's pulled out a second on Weary Night. So it's as you are at the moment. Who can remain focused?
so he is actually catching Jeno here.
He's catching him.
He is. The gap's
Yeah.
going down. I think Jeno might have had a half spin.
Yeah, second a lap. Jetto's in front of Colonel Lloyd again. Is that right? Oh yeah, Colonel Lloyd had a pit stop.
Had to
didn't he?
pit, yeah. So 223. So I do think he's had a half spin there because he's dropped a truck of time. He's the only one actually in the 223s.
Yes.
Dado still following Sado. Which of the O's are going to get in fronto?
I don't know. Sado,
So-
run wide.
So
No,
if
no, not
slide
running wide.
sides in the chat, we can get a just seeing who's in the lead in the second lobby. And by the looks of it, Commander Cirrus has the lead over there in the
Whoa.
BMW. Oh,
Sado goes
he's
wide.
wiggling.
Oh,
The only group
Trying
that
hard
wants
to
to be
keep
doing
off the
that
grass
is
again.
actually the Wiggles.
yes.
He's run wide
Yes,
there
with the finger
too.
guns. He has, trying to pull it up. So Commander Cirrus now, from what I know from Commander Cirrus, let's hope he holds it together. He's prone to some mistakes as well, so hopefully a good drive for him. Fingers crossed he brings home the win. Commiserations to Slide Science, the Wall of Death. It's brutal. It's brutal.
They're side by side here too, coming down here.
They
Let's hope
are
we don't get another
coming into
forcing
Eau
gear
Rouge.
incident. Oh, that's
cuts
tight.
across. Good thing that Dado shortened the nose on that Mercedes earlier on in the race, because I think he would have lost it there. He's had to lift, lost a mountain of time. Yeah, Sato's going, I'm not letting you past. No love lost between these two. The cars look almost identical as far as dents go. It's like, except like you say, the glassware in Dado's car isn't cracked. Alright. What have we got in the meantime? So,
However, we've had Dredd lose a truckload of time as well. He's made another mistake. 2:23 lap time.
2:23. Holding on to it. As you can see, there's some marbles on the track here, so I wonder if they're starting to play into it. If you're just getting the line wrong on the marbles, a bit sideways. Not quite sure. He's still got heaps of time to Jetto. Yep, this is the one. This is the one.
This is tasty. This is all for the marbles here.
It'd be great to see Sato spend half a lap on the track. because our cameraman can't keep him in the shot. They flames fry out the side. Here we are, closing up. There we go, closing up once more. He's running wide out of this Coombe de Paul somewhere or other.
He's done well not to get penalties from running that wide, to be honest.
He is, isn't he? He's a cagey driver. As they come through Blanchimont, where's he going to end up this time?
Dado
runs wide this time. He's like, I'll try and get my time back this way. Hard on the brakes. It's so hard to judge the entry to this corner. And he gets it done over the sausage curb. He's got 22 minutes to go. Oh, what's that? Oh, going all over the shop.
That's an interesting line
Alternative lines. It is. I think he's trying to throw him off.
Flash the lights. I mean, that works in the daytime.
Start flashing the lights. It does.
I mean, I would have started in the formation lap.
Yes. Just keep blurring the, keep throwing the blurry blue car.
Oh, he's had a moment there.
Oh, Dano's They've got out in sympathy. I don't know. Maybe there's some banana skins on the top of that corner there, but I thought Dano might have got him, but he went a bit sideways as well. Probably had to slow down as well, running wide.
We can get
but,
roof
as I was saying,
cam and Dado here. We should be able to see the tail wag that mistake.
Yes. As we come down into Bruxelles, who's going to break first? Of course, it's Sato because he's in front. Runs a bit wide. Dano trying to hug it in. Again, trying to get on the power. Too early can cost you there. There we go. There's the line. That's the line I like.
That's a good line through there.
Now those bollards are gone. As you can see, gets the gap. Hard on the brakes. Misses the apex here, but then Sato's been cutting the grass here a bit. Trying to play it safe. It's a good acceleration out. Coming into these this chicane here. We can take a bit more curb on this one here.
So Jetto's done a 2:23, so he's had another little mistake in the McLaren. Oh, he catches right up deep there.
I think that's Jetto's pace, 2:23, to be honest. So I think he's having mistakes. I think he's been faster than that. Could be wrong. But yeah, Woody's just clawing back just a second a lap. Okay, Dado, where can he get him? I think their cars are both damaged in a way that Sato's stronger in some parts and Dado
there and watch
runs wide again.
There.
Yeah. Hard on the brakes. Used to hang it out a bit wider there. Yeah, I think he needs to change his line. He needs to go a bit wider on the entry into the bus stop so he can hug the apex and get a better run on out of the left-hander onto the straight. I think that's where he's going to make up his time. Stay well away from the wall of death. Okay, coming up into Eau Rouge. Who's going to make the mistake this time? I'm not quite sure. Sato takes a bit of curb.
They're both
better line by Dano.
Very calm.
I think Sato kept a bit more momentum up. Trying to get in the slipstream, but I don't think the slipstream works. Hard on the brakes, takes a narrow entry. Here we are with Jetto, going through Blanchimont.
So it's a 12-second gap, so yeah, Woody's catching about a second a lap.
Yeah, so he's not quite going to get him unless something Jedi has a moment. But 19 minutes to go. What's that? It's about 7 laps. 7 laps left in this race.
Back on the pace there with the 2:22.1 there. Good lap there from McLaren.
There you go. So yeah, maybe he just had a bit of a moment. Taking it a bit easy.
Colonel Lloyd's had a moment though too. 2:23.7
from him. 2:23.7.
They're still pushing.
Still pushing. He's got a minute 33. Is he trying to lap? He's trying to lap Jetto. Oh, he's got Jetto, hasn't he? So.
Oh, these two are closer again here.
This is the closest we've seen him for a while. Needs a good exit out of here. Nah, he's had to lift. He's lost his momentum.
No burgers there this lap. Must have one in the cockpit.
Burgers.
You can understand him going wide, missing apex. There's a you compromised with the burger in there. Oh, he runs both of them.
Oh, they both.
Who needs track limits when you got racing like this?
That's right. Just trying to stay in the draft. There he is. So compromises his exit there, Dado. That's where he's just got to improve that corner, I think, and then he'll get him down this straight. Easy for me to say. I'm not.
Sato
looked like he backed it in there. He did look like he backed it in there. Slow out, but I think Dado was cautious. Maintain the same gap. Here we go. No Rouge up the cross at the top of Dado. Radion runs wide, holds it in.
Oh!
Sato get a slow down there. Don't know. 256, 257, 264. So they're both down on top speed. Just can't quite get there. And Sato won't be too bothered by having Dado behind him. He's an experienced racer. He'll be just looking ahead. He'll know where he's got him. As long as he keeps looking ahead and doesn't make a mistake, he should be fine. He just gets into dirt there. Into no name, as we've seen. Dado takes a wider line. Sato just pulls a bit. So this is where Dado starts to lose the time. He needs to take a tighter line into no name. Catch right up here on Puon. He's a bit wide there. We know Sato's a bit antsy through there. As we say that, here he is. He goes wide. We know
he's on the grass. Breaking on there.
Yeah, so this is where Dado's got to keep the foot into it now. Keep the foot into it.
Coefficient goes from 1 to about 0.01.
Oh, he's on the power too early. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. It was a good battle. Yeah, just lost the rear end there. Unfortunate for him. So there we go. Speechless. What are we going to talk about now? Okay. What do you got coming up on the weekend?
Installing
Here's Dark Racing
software.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I've heard it's a great product. It's done well for this car. Dark Racing just maintaining his position now, bringing it home. Not long to go. 15 minutes. About 15 minutes to go. About 6 laps, I think. What could have been for this team if they'd have just run Microsoft bit Defender. You just never know. Might have got that few extra kilometres an hour out of it, and their ABS software might have ran a bit better as well. But anyway, this is where we are. Meanwhile, Colonel Lloyd back in the 218s, doing it easy. Just touring around now.
Bentley still with his high beams on.
Still with his high beams. Not catching Woody Lizard. Dark Racing slowly catching him, but with 9 seconds to go with 15 minutes, I don't think he's going to get there. So as we said, a good drive after a huge accident about midway through the race. Cost him because he had to have a second pit stop because of that. So what could have been. Woody Lizard has kept it clean all day. The 2-stop strategy hasn't quite worked out for him. He's just going to fall a bit short. Looks like Jetto is maintaining the pace now. Interesting to know how the tyres are going.
I think the spin coming into pit lanes really hurt him, to be honest.
Yeah, that was it, wasn't it? He probably just had a little bit of damage, not much, and those extra few seconds just put him out behind. So that's what it is. You've got to concentrate 100% of the time. You can't let up in pit lane until you're actually up on the chocks. So, but still, good race from Woody, up into 4th spot. And someone we haven't seen much of, Dark Lord, the return of Sauron in the Zack Speed Mobile 1 Mercedes, looking like most of the other Mercedes, so we can't criticise him there. Yeah, still touring around, up into 9th.
It's a tough race. He can claim that he can claim he has beaten the brothers. That's the thing. A lot of people. Right. Oh, so we've lost someone here actually. Who have we lost? Down to 8.
Just trying to think.
We've lost Dado.
Dado. Oh no, 12 minutes to go.
I think that may be a
Feel for Dado.
a bit of a rage, is it? Possibly?
Yeah. Why would you quit with 12 minutes to go? I don't know. Not quite sure, but
He's cracked open a tinny. He's pulled it straight to the VBs.
Yep.
Having a frothy.
Past his bedtime too, so he's definitely needed to go to bed, I think. Unfortunate for him. Anyway, he's probably made 75% distance, so he will register, but so close to the end. But as we're saying, Dark Lord, well, he's just made up another position, and yeah, he can brag that he showed the brothers how to drive a Mercedes, how to keep it on the black stuff, and as I say that, he puts it on the grass. That's how you drive. So you crash like that without hitting anything, and you keep going. So almost there. But that's the biggest challenge with these races, these long races. The first goal is to finish, and then once you can finish, you start to look at finishing well. Sato in the pits once more. So Dado will be spilling.
He's cleaned his
Ish.
front end by the looks of it.
And he's shortened. I think he's shortened the wheelbase again. No. Yeah.
Well, the back one's gone now. Actually, I think that may be what's happened.
I'm not surprised with the angle of that roof. I think they put the new one in and it's just popped straight away.
Oh!
Who's this?
Woody
Lizard! We're just talking about...
All Mercedes are now officially broken.
All broken. We're just praising him and how good he's doing. Just shows you can't let up. These are endurance races. It's a test of the man more than the machine. Fortunate for him. So where's that? So that pretty Weary Night goes past, Dark Racing
Bentley.
goes past. So Bentley. So that means Mercedes. I'm just going to look at this. So
Mercedes.
the Ferrari, the Bentley, and the 2 McLarens and the Lamborghini, they're all beating the Mercedes. Just shows you what a piece of crap car it actually is.
That's why that's why I said the Cadillac should be running.
The Cadillac, yeah, would have been interesting to see how it went.
I can tell you how it would have gone. 57 laps of in the Wall of Rouge.
Oh, so unfortunate for Woody. He was cheering him on. I thought he was going to do well. Just couldn't hang in there. So now we're down to 8 runners. Woody's still in the pits. Is he going to get out in time to actually finish?
He's on his way out there.
Probably just fixed the mechanical.
The 2 premium motorsport cars are now twins.
And now twins. Yeah. Was there a lap between them? I think there's a lap between them.
There is a lap, yes.
But yeah, so the standard look of a Mercedes GT3 is a squashed in nose and a cracked windscreen. It comes as option. It's an optional extra if you were to buy one in the showroom. You can get them made like that from the factory.
A slight crack there.
Windscreen there. Yep. So he's gone with the. He hasn't gone with the Premier
crack.
fit out. He's just gone. Yep. He's just gone with the. Obviously, never had it in his budget. The whole hog on the windscreens.
We know most of these GT3s run air conditioning, but the Mercedes air conditioning just doesn't seem to be very efficient. So, a few cracks there.
Well, the reason it's not efficient is because that nose pushes all the air straight up and over the car. No air gets in. Here we are, Colonel Lloyd. Best lap
7 seconds worth of penalties as well.
Well, I think you could go for a minute worth of penalties.
Yeah.
And still win. But look,
Oh,
look at his
that's
time at
disqualification.
2:16.8. That's nearly 4 seconds faster than the next best lap. Anyway, let's not jinx him. We've jinxed everyone else at the moment, but the car's still looking good. Of course, he's had a bit of damage. He's been back into the pits. So was Dreadnought here. He's been in the pits a couple of times. So there's only one car, and we're looking at it now, that hasn't had... Is that Sato going off again? No, not quite. This car here hasn't had any damage so far, and the irony of it is it's a car insurance company that sponsors it.
Former pizza place.
If you think there was one car here that would like get bashed up and wouldn't be a problem, it'd be the one insured by a car insurance company. But great drive from Jetto. Unfortunately for him, Max Verstappen and Jason Day have been in this race, so he hasn't got driver of the day, but he's been pretty close. Come from 11th on the grid, just pottering around. Obviously taking a bit easier now. 224s for him. Everybody seems to have dialed it back a bit. Of course, the best way to do that is just change the fuel map if you can. You can still drive flat out, but you saves you a bit. There goes Weary Knight.
Biggest car on the
Good.
grid by about 50% is sitting in 4th.
Yeah, that's it. I noticed when they were gridding up, the other cars were parking in the shadow to try and keep it cool, because it's so huge. The Boatley. Unfortunately, if he'd have been running the 2018 model, he probably would have
Sato's
been able to
having
show.
another
Here we go,
pit stop.
Sato. Yep.
They're making about
Just
7.
can't get enough. Yeah, can't get enough. I think there's actually a clause in his contract that he gets $10,000 for every pit stop he completes. So, pretty sure he'll make another one before the end of this race. It's the cash show. Premier Motorsports. There we go. So here comes Colonel Lloyd in the background, looking to put another lap on Woody Lizard. Yeah, we're just counting down the minutes now. And interesting to know how they're going in Tier 2. There's probably a few guys that'll be disappointed they didn't get to Tier 1. They might have done a better job.
It's been action
Cruising
filled.
around. It has. And that's good, because otherwise we'd have run out of things to talk about. Dark Racing, here he is. We talked about it. Cybersecurity, absolutely blown his car out of the water. Taking it easy through there this time. We've seen him spin a few times through there. The white Ferrari with the yellow headlights.
It's got
What
some
else
red
can I
on
say
it.
about this car?
Had some consolation.
It's got black wing mirrors that match the tyres.
The number 55
like he's-
also matches the tyres.
Matches the tyres as well. It looks like he's mowed down a glut of frogs. That's what the green is on the red on the sides. He's just ploughed through a pond of frogs.
You got the awkward place
stuck
of the
in
rear
first-
vision mirror. It's not really
Yeah, and
helpful.
he's stuck in first gear for the whole race. Hasn't helped him. Best lap of a 2:21 there. You can see.
Well, just set that bed.
That's okay. He's coming good at the end of the race. Bit late to be doing that now, but anyway.
Yeah, that's his fastest lap of the race.
Fastest
Lap
lap of the race.
58.
That's when you want to be doing it. Here we are with Dread.
Lamborghini also has an awkward rear vision mirror placement.
Yes.
That one seems to be more on the floor.
Yeah, and that's exactly where you want to be looking as you're pulling 270 is to your right and down at the floor. Tyre temperatures have remained consistent in this car all the way through. His best lap at 220. Got the traction control set to 3 there. Got more than enough fuel to get to the end. So some of these guys, I think the extra pit stops have probably caught them out. They haven't never set a pit stop without fuel. So yeah, bringing it home.
Oh, bit of crack there. He's joined the Mercedes club here.
Oh, there we go. So we've put the Mozzie on Jetto, and now he's put the car in the wall somewhere.
So 14 seconds now
like
between him and Weary.
So it was this lap just gone that he's done this.
Oh, he has.
Oh, can he bring it home? Can he bring it home? 3 minutes to go. So what's that? 2 laps. 2 laps. Weary's doing 2:25s.
He may have also put it in.
Yeah, it's getting tough now. They're all starting to think of the end.
Dark Racing is only 3 seconds behind here.
Yes, it's all happening. So
there he is.
They're all beginning to struggle.
Possibly put some that Kaspersky virus protector. Maybe block out his traction control or something like that. Maybe just turn that down a little bit.
Yep. This is where they're all starting to think of the end. They're all thinking, I can't wait to finish. I can't wait to finish. I've been here. I've done this many a time. And you're just like, I just want to get out. But you gotta lie to yourself and say, yeah, I still got 10 minutes to go. Can we do this? Meanwhile, Colonel Lloyd, he's had a bit of a slow lap too, but he's had to go past Woody Lizard. Who's that in the background? Woody Lizard.
Sato, they're together.
Oh, it's the teammates.
So does
together.
Does Colonel Lloyd slow right up here and end the race now?
No, I think I'm not sure how it runs, but no, I think you push. Yeah. As soon as you slow up, you're going to make a mistake. So easy to do. But he couldn't he? He could just park it just before the line.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how it runs in Project Cars. Do you do the time and then plus 1 lap?
Nah, the time normally ends and that's it.
Alright, so how's Dark Racing going? Obviously he's got to get close to Weary. Yeah, just seen him going out of the foreground there.
These blokes will be probably aware that this may be this will be the last lap for them.
No, I think they got another one.
Oh, is it where Colonel Lloyd crosses the line, possibly? Because they are overlapped.
Yeah. Yep, so maybe Dark Racing's not going to get 10 seconds to Jetto, so he's pulled in 4 seconds on that lap. So he's hoping there's another lap. You're weary night, you're hoping there's another. Oh, got a bit wobbly there. Jetto's just holding on to it, isn't he? Just holding on to it. Is he coming down into Poulon? Doesn't want to understeer off here. Yeah, just a bit of a lift. He's going through there in 3rd, so taking it pretty gingerly. Alright. There's Colonel Lloyd coming on. 30 seconds to go, so yeah, one more lap to come. This has got to be it, doesn't it? I don't know, we'll see. If anyone's there watching or is in the broadcast that can tell whether the white flag just came out. Don't know.
Still 3.5.
So
he's not catching.
He's not catching. He's holding it there. Oh, Jetto's got a time. He's got a time penalty as well. Oh, just a second.
So does Weary Knight though.
So he's got 7. So Jetto's actually got 16 seconds to 15 seconds to Weary Knight. So yeah, a lot's got to happen. So Weary Knight's got to pass him and then beat him by 6 seconds to actually take the position. Of course, Jetto won't know that. He won't know that. So actually, Dark Racing. Yeah, so Dark Racing will actually get Weary Knight here.
Yep.
Because of the time penalty. Yeah, so the way they're running on track is now they're actually going to finish the finishing order. So time remaining, Countdown. Oh!
Oh.
No, not the wall of death. Could you imagine that? Oh my god, give us a heart attack.
He's got to get
2
that
hours,
7
25
seconds,
minutes.
though.
He's got to get that 7 seconds back. He's just cost himself, hasn't he? He's got 5.
Jump back
But
on
imagine that. Times tick down and you stick it in the wall of death and don't finish. That'd be just the worst.
So the running order in lobby 2 is Commander Sirius, Commander Jim, and Illogical. There's your top 3.
The top 3. Good for those guys. I'm not sure how long to go in that race. Let's hope they all hold it together. Okay, Colonel Lloyd coming through Blanchimont for maybe the last time. Still running the below sub-20s. Been a great race. There's only been one hiccup, which we didn't see.
Should be the finish line here.
Should be. Let's see what happens.
Colonel Lloyd flashing the lights.
Yeah.
It's comes across the
Flashing
line.
lights.
The
Race
victory.
complete. Congratulations to the K-Packs. Discount Tyre, McLaren. Fantastic job.
So
Okay, here we
Red's
go.
got to do pretty much an entire lap.
Yes, almost an entire lap. And here we go, Jetto bringing it home.
Jetto's gained some time here on Weary as well.
Has he? It's down to 6 seconds.
It's down to 6, actually, yes.
So Jetto's had another moment. But of course there's 7 seconds to add on to that. So Dark Racing is going to beat Weary home officially. So we should see Jetto will be crossing the line about now.
The key figure is that Dark Racing 40 will get 4th. It's only 3 seconds.
So we missed Jetto. Jetto crossed the line. We missed Weary. Weary's just crossed the line. And then comes Dark Racing. So congratulations to those guys.
He's also finished. The last racer is officially Dread. Car in second.
Dread closing in on Dark. Closing in on Dark Lord. Great job by Dark Lord too to persevere. We lost Sato.
You have, so that's 7th for Dark Lord. He's also finished. Oh, he's still racing?
Yeah, I don't know. I think interesting to see where they end up because I think Sato had about 2 laps on Dark Lord. So yeah, here they are. Final few corners. To everyone who's continued to watch throughout our broadcast, thank you so much. Been an interesting race, ebbs and flows, but domination by Colonel Lloyd at the end.
Interesting pushing there.
Yeah, pushing him to get him home. Well done to
Dread
Dread.
comes home to take second.
Yeah, great drive by him. Once more, and
Sato 15 is disconnected.
There we go. Where did he finish? Oh, it didn't register him. I'm pretty sure though he would finish in front of Dark Lord. So there we have our results. Congratulations to Colonel Lloyd, Dread and Jetto. Driver of the day would have went to Jetto, but we had Max Verstappen and Jason Day in 11th on the grid, finishing on the podium. Dark Racing, as we said, got past Weary Knight because of Weary Knight's time penalties. He actually had 8 seconds in the end. Weary Knight, good recovery. He's looked pretty strong early on, had a bit of a lose, and then T-Bone got Gecko. Woody Lizard, I'm not quite sure what happened, and as we can see, everyone just wants to go to bed, so we didn't get to call all the placings. Yeah, well, thank you so much, guys, for everyone that watched. It's been a great race. Check us out on ANZ-CRL.weebly.com to see what's coming up. We're also got ANZCRL on Instagram. Check out some photos and join us on there. We've got our Facebook page, ANZCRL or AusNZ combined, I think it's called on there. Come and join us on that. If you're into Xbox racing, come and have a look at the iRacing if you want to get into that. Been a great call. Thank you very much, Maddie.
All good. Glad to be here.
I'm not sure if we're doing. I don't think we're doing. What do you call them? Interviews. So yeah, just thank everybody. Thanks Matty Seeking for pointing the cameras. Thank you Aussie for joining us and Got Gecko after what was a disappointing race for you guys. Yeah, look forward to the next broadcast. I'm not sure what the next race is. I think it's still GTE series going on. Is that right?
GTE's in Indianapolis, where I shall be wildcarding. The dentists
That's
are back.
tomorrow night.
That's next week. No racing
Next
tomorrow.
week. No racing tomorrow. Alright, yep. Thank you very much. Subscribe, all that sort of thing to our YouTube channel, ANZCRL on YouTube. This will go up there, I think, sometime through the week. Yeah. Have a good night, and don't buy Project Cars 3. Alright, you guys want to say anything?
No, I'm good, mate. Thanks to everyone.
You're good.